Bear with me.
Personalize your cards with emojis, sketches, or your.
Let me know if you can hear that. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm a bit worried about settings.
Let me know if you can hear that.
That sounds pretty good. As we go into the last round. As we go into the last round, by the way. Last round of this fight. It's been a good scrap. I wish I'd gone live at the start for this one because this has been a flipping hell of a scrap. Last round, there's a lovely. That is a lovely little left hook to start the round. Josh Kelly, pretty boy Kelly, is in the last round. We're 2 minutes and 45 seconds now to go in the 12th round. People, I've got Kevin and Jago ahead. Now, one thing I have to say to Carl Frampton, I believe it was round number 6 or 7, it was one or the other. Well, long and the short of it, right, he gave that round to Kevin and Jago, right? Round 6, right? But he scored it incorrectly. Fanzone scored it correctly because it should have been a 10-8 round to Kevin and Jago. I've got Kevin and Jago just slightly ahead, but this fight could really go either way. It really could. I mean, that 10-8 round, Josh Kelly's face is mashed up. It really is. But it really shows how much he's grown as a fighter because he was mashed up something similar, but it was more so on the top of the head against Avanesian all those years ago. He really fell apart in here. But look, his nose is mashed up. Look at that. And Kevin Ajago, he surprised me big time. I didn't think he had a performance like this in him because I watched his last couple of fights. He looked very flat, and he barely, was able to string together wins. Barely, very lucky against Ishmael Davis, because had that fight not been in Belfast, God knows what kind of scorecards we would have got. But this has been a cracking little fight. It really has been a good performance. I don't know, is it a good performance by Kevin and Jago or a really poor performance, even in victory? But he gets hit with another right hand there, Josh Kelly. A poor performance, even in victory, because it could go his way. I mean, this round, you could really have it going either way. And this round, Josh Kelly's been doing some decent work, it has to be said, but Jago's landed a couple of decent shots as well. And yeah, I don't think he's got the. Well, Josh Kelly was never really a puncher. I mean, that was one of the problems at welterweight, was that he never really had the pop to keep the guys like that Ray Robinson guy, who we haven't heard from since. Remember that draw he had? He really lost that fight against Ray Robinson. And when he fought Avanesian, I mean, he just could not keep Avanesian off him. And Avanesian is decent at that level. And he really showed Josh Kelly at European level. But certainly at welter, has a great left hook by Josh Kelly. Caught Kevin and Jago coming in, and there's barely any time left. Both these guys just going to have to leave it in the ring. I mean, Josh Kelly is absolutely mashed up, but he probably is ahead. You'd never tell, considering looking at his face. He's got cuts everywhere, and he's wearing white trunks. And yeah, they are turning red. I mean, they really are. I mean, he has been bleeding profusely pretty much since the kind of mid rounds. But we've only got 15 seconds left in the 12th round. It's a nice little way to end it. But yeah, the referee having words with Jago, punched on the break, which is not what you really want to be seeing. But oh, that's a good right hand to end this. Kevin Ajago thinks he has it. He has the smile on his face, but Josh Kelly does as well. The fight ends. Really good scrap that was. I really enjoy it. Look at Josh Kelly's nose. Holy hell, that's bad. Bloody Nora. God, he got his nose mashed up. Bloody hell. Josh Kelly and Kevin Ajago, they both think they've won. So this is going to be an interesting one. Who would you give that last round to? You probably give it to Josh Kelly. Like, I could see this fight going either way. Now, Fanzone had Kelly well ahead. They did. They had him well ahead. When's it starting? It should be starting. Now, they were saying ring walk time is at 11 p.m. UK time, hence the reason I did the live this late. But Hamza Shiraz, listen, I'm hoping if Hamza Shiraz gets it done early, which he probably should, they'll just get a move on with it. Unlike Alexander Usyk, because Alexander Usyk, he dragged that out against Verhoeven. He was like, I'm ring walking at whatever time it was, and he made sure to do that. Joshua, I don't think he'll do that. I think Joshua just want to get in and get it going. That was a really good scrap, though. I really enjoyed that. I was obviously watching it before I went live with you guys. And for those who don't know, because I got a bit of a surprise when I saw this. So we know Moses Atauma is facing Filip Hrgovic next month. We all know that, right? And that is what that is, right? But very naughtily, I'm going to say that, they announced that fight. There was no mention of pay-per-view, and they announced it on the zone just there The fight is on the end of August, and it's pay-per-view. I'm sorry, that's foul. That's not a pay-per-view fight. Dylan White wasn't a pay-per-view fight either, but Hrgovic versus Atelma, that's not good. I'm not happy with that. That should not be on pay-per-view. No way. Absolutely should not be on pay-per-view. I think that's not good. That's not good form. I don't think putting that show on pay-per-view. It's a decent card, but it should be on stand. Like, at the end of the day, it's not even for a world title. Atelma's not even a world champion. If they got the IBF belt, I still wouldn't justify it personally, but I could look at that and say, okay, maybe because the world title's on the line. But even then, I still would struggle to justify it. It's a non-title fight and it's on pay-per-view. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. Not at all. Oh, here we go. Well, it shouldn't be on pay-per-view, but apparently it is. It definitely is. Let's have a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecard.
Make sure you hear that.
Judge Nermin Adlovic scores it 114 to 113. And both judges, Marco Morales and Carl Zapia, are in agreement. They both scored the same, 115 to 112. All for your winner by...
I'd say Kelly has it. I thought that. I thought that. It was that kind of fight. It was close. That was close. That was... I have no issue with that. I listened to that. I was like, ooh, what way are they going with that? When I heard the 114, 113, I was thinking, ooh, this could go one of two ways. Do you know what? This is just a minor nitpick, right? Do you know when there's some MCs, right? Like, so Michael Buffer, he has his way of doing it, and it's pretty good. You know, when I say MCing, I mean, you know, reading out the judges' scorecards, right? Thomas Schreiber is quite good because there's some like MCs, you know, David Diamante, I love him, but he can do this. He's very bad for doing this, right? You can tell by the way he's speaking, basically, what way the fight is going. So he has a way of kind of, it's hard to explain, but you kind of know when it's going to be a draw. Like, there's been a few times where David Diamante has been emceeing and he's been announcing the scores, and the way he's done it, you're like, that's a draw. That's a draw. And then he's come out with like 2 even scorecards and you're like, it's a draw. So he's kind of given it away before, which I don't know. Like, and I think one of the things about being a good MC is you have to be able to have that poker face at all times when you're reading the scorecards, not to kind of give it away. Because especially if it's a close fight, you're thinking, oh, I'm on the edge of my seat. And then you can tell by the way they deliver something, you're like, oh, it's a draw. And you just know. So, yeah, credit to Thomas Schreiber. He is a good announcer. He's a good MC. He really is. So Josh Kelly looks like he's going to go on to face Boots Ennis. I don't think that's going to end particularly well for Josh Kelly, personally, but I could be wrong. But I don't see that ending particularly well for Josh Kelly. And people, 91 in the building. I hope you are enjoying this. We haven't done a live. The last live we did was nearly 2 months ago in any capacity, and that was for Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall, which I don't think I'll be doing Misfit shows anytime soon after that. That was interesting to say the least, but not in a good way. Not in a good way. That's a bad gash on Josh Kelly's nose. He's got one over his eye as well. But if you could hit the like button, let's get this stream recommended in the algorithms. Let's get it pushed. You know, we've only got 15 likes now with 96 people in the building. Let's get into the hundreds. You want to get into the hundreds on this live. And if you haven't already, please do consider hitting subscribe. We've gained nearly 100 subscribers in a day, which is good. We've gained nearly 100 subscribers in a day after that Tyson Fury vid we did. So, you know, we are doing quite well. We are happy out here. So big shout out to everyone. I can barely see because I have, again, the angle. But I see someone mentioned the BBC pod. I appreciate that. Yes, your boy on the BBC. I should change the name as in like the StreamYard name, because it still says G-Man. I should really be changing that to Liam Goff at BBC, you know? AJ beats the living daylights out of Prenga. He could become the betting favourite. Potentially. That wouldn't surprise. Well, boxing fans in general, but I think people in general are very reactionary. So if AJ does go in there and he does beat the daylights out of Kristian Prenga, I would, considering how Fury looked last night, I wouldn't be shocked if he did end up becoming favourite. Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. So I can see that. I think he will beat the living daylights out of Kristian Prenga. I can't see Prenga winning this fight, but you know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and I've left the windows opened in the flat. So if you hear any noise outside or anything like that, then uh, I can't have the windows closed. It's too warm out. If AJ loses against the bin man, should he retire with immediate effect? Yes, simple as. I mean, like, Kristian Prenga looks so limited. He really does. Like if Anthony Joshua goes in there and he's not beating Kristian Prenga, I mean, I really, as bad as Fury looked last night against Marius Vac, if you go in there and lose to Kristian Prenga, there's no coming back from that. There really isn't. And I know what people say, oh, but there is no coming back. If you lose to Kristian Prenga at this stage in your career, there's, yeah, I would say there's no coming back from that personally. I don't see him losing. I think Prenga is very, very limited. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, but Prenga can punch. Yeah, he can. Like, all heavyweights pretty much can punch, right? They all can. I think it's just a case of Joshua going in there, needing to look devastating, and I think he will. And listen, I still think the Fury fight is competitive. I probably still lean, genuinely, probably will most likely still lean towards Fury. But if Joshua looks really good in there, 100%, they will probably end up saying, they'll probably end up having Fury or Joshua's the favorite. Yeah. It's all on the perception of the fans. And if they think after that Joshua looked like, you know, really, really good, they haven't updated Kevin Njago's record yet, which is strange because they have him down as still undefeated, which I haven't seen. Did Ade say that? I haven't actually seen it. Ade says there's a part of him that thinks AJ could beat Dubois in a rematch. Ade, I love you, mate. You're my guy, but that's not going to happen. I mean, I think that given how one-sided that was, and Dubois is just growing with confidence now, especially after that performance he put in against Fabio Wardley, I just can't, like, that to me just would be completely, I couldn't see it. Not in a month of Sundays, not in a million years. I could not see him coming close to beating Daniel Dubois in a rematch. It just, for me, it just won't happen. It just will not happen. I can't see it. So yeah, that would be how it is for me. Look, if he rematches Dubois, fair play. I mean, I think that would be crazy personally. If he did rematch Daniel Dubois, I think that would be, that's just asking for trouble, that. But look, if he somehow does prove me wrong, fair play. But yeah, I personally can't see it. I don't think there's any way he'll do it, personally. What do we have? Big up to Sasha. I'm probably butchering the name. Evening G-Man, OG follower. Yep, there we go, man. The OG followers in the building. That is a fight that I could actually see AJ winning because Murat Gassiev is extremely limited at heavyweight. I mean, he was limited at cruiserweight, but he had certain attributes going for him at cruiserweight. You know, he's very physically strong at cruiserweight. That's why I actually thought at heavyweight he might not, you know, I didn't think he'd look as bad as he has, because I thought at the very least at heavyweight, you know, some of that strength will carry up. It really hasn't. It's really weird. And yeah, I think a heavyweight Gassiev is a very, very weak champion. And I think Team AJ, if they want to go down the road of fighting for a world title, they should look to fight Murat Gassiev because he's a very beatable champion even now. I mean, again, like, Gassiev can punch. We know that. Gassiev is a tremendous puncher. So there's a risk there. But for me personally, I personally think that AJ could beat Murat Gassiev. I probably would pick him, to be honest with you. I need to see how AJ looks in this fight. We don't know yet, but I'd probably be picking AJ to beat Murat Gassiev if he had anywhere close to what he had, say, against Otto Wallin, then he should be beaten. He should be beating him. Yeah, one more fight. Worst champion in boxing. Worse than Rowley, I reckon. Yeah, well, see, Rowley, I would have said would have been the worst, but he has a decent win and a decent performance over Ryan Garcia, so I'll give him that. Whereas you're talking about Murat Gassiev. I mean, he beat an ancient Kubrat Pulev, came from behind to beat an ancient Kubrat Pulev, and then he fought a completely unknown, obscure fighter. And I can't even remember the guy's name, the German heavyweight. And yeah, now he's world champion. So yeah, I would say he is one of the weaker champions in boxing, absolutely. And that's not a knock on Garcia. It's just a fact. So yeah, I think that in terms of weak champions, there's always weak champions in any division in any era. But I would say probably you're right. Yeah, I would say probably Gassiev. I'm just trying to think of other champions. Now, Badu Jack was particularly weak at cruiserweight when he was champion because he was well past his best and he had a lot of favors. We'll say we'll use that word. So he was fairly weak. Badu Jack was a tremendous champion. He was one of the best champions at 168 pounds, but he was in his prime back then. And who else would I say would have been a particularly weak champion? I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but the man who's there on screen, Josh Kelly is not a particularly strong champion. He really isn't. I mean, like, Kevin Njaga was slightly above domestic European level, and he went life and debt with him. So Josh Kelly is not a particularly strong champion. And also, who else? I would say Christian Mbile is a particularly weak champion. Because Mbile is not, I wasn't impressed with him at all against Lester Martinez. Really wasn't impressed with him. So there's a couple. I still think Gassiev is probably the weakest out of the lot. I would say. I personally would say that anyway. If you could host the gloves are off, which matchup would you want? If I could host the gloves are off, you see, if I could host the gloves are off, I would love to be able to say what I want to say, if that makes sense. And I'd actually love to do a gloves are off. Not that we should ever, we're never going to get this fight, but I would love to do a gloves are off for Fury versus Usyk, just so I could, point out and be like, well, why did you mention that? He only got the decision because of I'd love to because no one ever challenged him on them, and I'd love to ask that question. Verhoeven is a weird one, I mean, that performance was incredible, really. It really was. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but we saw that with Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou next fight against AJ got flattened, and I wonder, could we see something similar with Verhoeven? Could he go in there against someone? Put it like this: if a Telmo was to fight Verhoeven, I mean, good lord, I think a Telmo would wipe the floor with Rico Verhoeven or someone like that. So yeah, we got to. I wouldn't mind seeing him again. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's definitely proved me wrong. I really couldn't believe what I was seeing in there against Alexander Usyk. He looked decent. So yeah, look, we'll need to see. I mean, like, at the end of the day, with someone like Verhoeven, what they're going to have to do, he's probably only going to get big fights because him and his team probably going to be like, well, the hell with that. We don't want to take a fight against. I'm just trying to think it like David Elias, seen him there in the ring. They don't want to take a fight with someone like him. Whereas you don't really get probably a lot of, credit for beating him. But then if he beats you, you're like, oh God, this guy went life and death and almost beat Alexander Usyk, and then he loses to Adelaya. You see what I mean? So it'd be something like that. So Josh Kelly successfully defends his title. It was a decent scrap. It was a decent scrap. So yeah, that's the situation on Verhoeven as we now wait. Yeah, look at that, right? Josh Kelly is a world champion, and he's only ranked 6th in the ring rankings. I mean, he's behind Israel Madrimov and Xander Zayas, who's just after being defeated. And the top 2, although Boots Ennis is now a world champion, but the top 2 are Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. Ortiz is not a world champion. He's ahead of Sebastian Fondora. Boots has 2, Fondora. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Bakram Murtazalayev. I mean, that performance Bakram put in against Josh Kelly, that was just weird because, Bakram just didn't look. He looked so good against Tim Tszyu, but saying that, I mean, Tim Tszyu is fighting Errol Spence tonight, and I think a lot of people have Spence as the favorite. Congratulations on the podcast with BBC. I appreciate that, man. Kent Matthews, I appreciate that. Yes, yes. Mainstream now, people. You know, you boys got the mainstream bug. It's so much fun, that show. We really had a good time with it. They actually did the version on the radio this morning, so it was a trimmed down version of the show, of the podcast that was on YouTube. They aired that on 5 Live today at 11 a.m. So I've officially been on, well, not me officially live, but you know, the pre-recorded version, and it was edited a little bit, so it was trimmed down a little bit to, I think, 26 minutes. But that was on 5 Live on the radio today as well. So yeah, man, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. And we celebrate with a 2-liter bottle of water, as you do. As you do. You celebrate that with a 2-liter bottle of water. Could be worse. And not even sparkling water. And I'll name this account later. Man, I am pretty good. I'm as good as can be. You know, we're settling in for a watch along. It's fight night. I'm happy. And my Tyson Fury video yesterday did particularly well. And we're 13 subs off 30,800. And I would... No Dr. Pepper this time. We're not a million miles off 31K. This month has been so slow, it's not even funny. This month has literally been so slow, it's not even funny. With there's just been a bit of a lack of boxing news. So there hasn't been much going on. There really hasn't been much going on. So, yeah, it's been one of the slower months. But as it's often the case with boxing, right? For every slow month, normally kind of there's always a big fight or a big event. So the last kind of like... the last kind of like week or so, like this week, it's just been fucking, oh, no, I swore there, but it's just been, manic. It just kind of comes to life then. So that's how it's been. But that Fury fight, that was an interesting one. That was an interesting fight to watch, to say the least, because Fury did not look good. He did not look good at all. He really didn't. I mean, Tyson Fury, honestly, he looked... It's crazy because he's been taken over. So he only fought in April, and then it's not even August. So it's what, like 3 months thereabouts? And yeah, he's been taken over, but he still looks like, it's bizarre. Like, it really is. I wonder now with Tyson Fury, has he maybe waited it out too long? Because AJ is not at his best, we know, but at least AJ's been, keeping himself active, keeping himself in, well, not active, but keeping himself in shape, right? And activity just in terms of taking over in the gym. But is Tyson Fury maybe now, are we really starting to see him slow down? And a case of, all right, I've waited out too long now. I mean, that could be something. Who are you talking with on the BBC pod? So it's me, it's Ade, and Emily Eubank. So Emily Eubank, I was never able to say it. I was never able to say it before, but I can say it now. Because I was always able to tell that, like, we did something, not with whom, but I was always able to tease, like, it's me and Ade and someone else. And yeah, we did it with Emily Eubank. And so far, the feedback has been good. Man, the feedback has been good. So look, long may it last. It's 5 episodes for the time being. So we filmed the 5. It's been, as I say, the feedback, just making sure that was on there. The feedback has been pretty good. So, we're all good. We're all good. Okay, we have a flipping... Like, look at this, right? Like, sometimes you do just have to laugh, right? Like, right, I'll show you this, right? I mean, talk about, like, cringe. So, if a guy here leaves a comment saying that, right? Then, in the next, like, literally one, he has another account. I mean, these people, I swear to God. Like, you gotta laugh sometimes. You really do. So... let's go. And let's go with this clown as well. I swear to God, man. Oh, dear. But you gotta have a laugh. You just gotta laugh at that. You just gotta laugh at that. Big up to Sean every time. How are you, my man? Salute to Liam. There you go. Salute to Liam every single time. But yeah, that's the situation. Come on, G-Man. Come on, G-Man. You're the man. That's what I mean, man. Simon Jordan is I was only look at the name there and I was like, I'm not going to read the whole thing See, I'm guessing you're not a fan of Simon Jordan. Just guessing. Just guessing with that kind of name. With a name like that, my guy is not a particularly big fan of Simon Jordan. That's okay. He's not everyone. Do you know what? With Simon Jordan, he's been growing on me a lot more. He actually has. Like, I mean, I could never say he was my favorite pundit. I mean, he was very, well, he's not even a pundit, he's a presenter, but he was very, at one stage, pro Fury, like ridiculously pro Fury. He's kind of, become a bit more grounded now. And when Simon Jordan, like, when he says things a lot of us think in terms of, what we think about boxing and stuff like that. If you can get the bias towards Fury, which I think he's pretty much got rid of now, he's pretty decent. He's pretty decent. I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree. I think that Fury, I think what Fury hoped would happen is that Usyk and AJ or whoever it would be would fight literally everybody and just maybe kind of let him do his own thing because he wanted to just do his own thing. Milk that WBC belt, fight guys like Ngannou, fight guys like that. That's all for me he really wanted to do. But ultimately, Turkey coming into the sport, pressure from everyone, it's I Arsenal fans and Simon Jordan. As soon as I saw it, I just had to giggle. Yeah, Arsenal fans and Simon Jordan. Yeah, yeah, they do not. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, they are not. They don't go hand in hand. I really do think Simon Jordan, low key, is a good troll. I think that he does. He's a bit like Rory Jennings in that sense, because Rory Jennings, who I respect very much as well, he's the same when it comes to Tottenham fans. And I genuinely think that a lot of it is because if you think about it like this, right? Simon Jordan, and I've seen AFTV really go in on Simon Jordan, but what does that do? It just gives Simon Jordan more publicity and it just makes more people tune in. Like when Arsenal Fan TV, AFTV, talk about Simon Jordan, they say he's this and they say he's that and he's an idiot and this, that, and the other. As soon as Simon Jordan's online, like he's getting what he wants. Like you are literally playing into his hand. That's literally what he wants. And I think it's very smart. And I think like with AFTV, they get triggered a lot. I've seen some of their videos. But yeah, I think you're just playing into Simon Jordan's hand with all that. And if you look at Rory Jennings, like he doesn't really, like I've never seen Rory Jennings address really anybody. I've never seen him address really anybody. He was quick today. It's just a shame he impeded Piastri. Thanks for the content you make, Liam. Would love to see you attending more boxing events and showing some behind the scenes. Look, that may actually end up happening sooner or later, look, we need to see where this current gig goes. That's the next part of the plan, We've already done this. Let's see where this next step goes along the way. And yeah, if I was to do something, even if it was a smaller show or something like that, I'd love to do some behind the scenes stuff. I've been behind the scenes, at some of the zone shows. I was at the behind the scenes at the kickoff press conference for Sora Wilder. That was obviously a Misfit show. And that was fun. That was really, really, really good fun. Just like I've been to events and stuff, but being a proper true behind the scenes, that's really good fun. That was really, really good fun. Seeing everything, seeing how it's done. And the fighters, like you really do have to give them credit because they literally have interview after interview after interview after interview, and a lot of them do ask the same questions. Some of them don't. Some of them can, really, think on the fly and, this and that and the other. But some of them really do. It's just the same thing over and over again. And in fairness to the boxers, I mean, it's got to be difficult. And then you're going to get interviewed by like IFL, Seconds Out, etc. And you're probably going to be asked the same questions again. It's not easy. It really isn't. I mean, like, I'll give you an example, right? On a live, like, if I do like a live for like our watch along and say there's like, say it's about like AJ Fury or something like that, you get asked the same question like repeatedly, not by the same people, but like, it's just, you're like, oh my God, I've answered this already, answered this already, answered this already, answered this already. That's what the boxers have to do. It cannot be easy. Like, genuinely, I mean, it cannot be easy. I'm after losing where I am. I've never actually seen the debate that he had with Rob. I know Robbie does not like Simon Jordan at all. He does not like him at all. Simon Jordan, yeah, he's been very grounded. He's been very grounded since that fight, actually, to be honest with you, man. And by the way, if we've 150 in the building And if you could, we've only got 36 likes. That's insanity. Insanity. They're the production studio who actually helped with the podcast as well. But if you could, please consider hitting the like. And if you're new, hitting the subscribe. I'd be greatly appreciating that. But yeah, Simon Jordan, he's been a lot more grounded on Fury since then. And I think as well as that, given the fact Fury is very, what's the word? Less than complimentary to talk sport. I think that's one of the reasons why Simon Jordan's just like the hell with Fury now. And I like, because it was almost sycophantic how he was with Tyson Fury at one stage. And I just didn't like that. It's just like, nah, man, like, we're not stupid. We know what you're saying is BS. And it's the fact he never challenged. Like, Adam Cattrall, and I remember this, when Adam Cattrall challenged Frank Warren, and it was on a TalkSport interview, like Adam Cattrall was attending a Queensbury event for TalkSport, and Frank Warren literally just cornered him and was trying to, and obviously Adam was not ready for that, as you wouldn't be. And it's just like, really? Is this where we're going? Like, you just dare criticize him and all this happens? Whereas I think Simon Jordan now is just like, the hell with it. They are always a good watch. And you can tell Simon Jordan has no great love for Johnny Fisher, because, yeah, he was really going in on Johnny Fisher as well. Big up to Fractured every single time, my man. Respect the wrench. Ed and Fractured, you got to respect the wrench. We haven't had any bots yet leaving pay-per-view links. So I trust you guys to help me out with I've jinxed it. I bet you anything we'll get them now, but we haven't had any bots with pay-per-view links yet. They were, if I remember correctly, they were particularly strong on the Tommy Fury show. I mean, it seemed like every other comment was a bot. Pay-per-view link here, pay-per-view link there. They normally tend to come kind of closer to the main event. Said he wanted to become a boxing manager and promoter. He'd be a decent manager. He'd be a decent mouthpiece for some boxers who don't have, that voice. He'd be decent with that. He'd be great at getting people triggered. I know Sam Jones is quite good at that as well. But yeah, he'd be decent at that. He absolutely would. Oh man, they are a nuisance. I don't know how YouTube hasn't cracked down on them yet. I really don't, because I don't even know like how does it even work with them? Like it's just weird. It's like I don't know what did they I really don't know how the bots, again, this, I'm not an IT expert, but I'd love to know like how exactly does it work with the bots and stuff, because it's relentless, like, and it's just boom 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 boom, as in like when they're leaving links, it's just like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You're like, how, what the hell, so it's weird. Well, I always say, man on screen, or man who's getting ready to do his ring walk, Hamza Shiraz, he fought in the Copper Box a couple of years ago against Liam Williams. That was a really fun show. I really enjoyed that show. That was really fun. I think that might be the last show I attended, believe it or not. It's crazy, actually, when I think about it now. And yeah, I haven't been. Like, I was at probably Windsor Park, Carl Frampton, and Tyson Fury fought on the undercard. That was fun. That was actually a really good show, even though it rained like hell. And it was the month of August, which we didn't expect rain. And oh boy, we got an absolute downpour. And Windsor Park has no roof on it. So yeah, it was not fun. It was fun event, but it was not fun. I mean, I went with my best friend and we got absolutely flipping saturated that night. It ain't fun. Does he show us live? No, it's a live watch along, so we're just a live reaction. Bosh. Johnny got boshed. Johnny will get boshed sooner or later. Johnny will, well, yes, a live watch along. I mean, the description actually, I believe, says that it's just a reaction. There's no footage. I believe that's what the description says. I'm nearly sure it is. Yes, disclaimer. Yes, I do have it in the description. So it's in the description. It isn't. It says 11 o'clock. If this fight ends early, they might speed it up, which it might. I mean, I've never heard of the guy Hamza Shiraz is fighting. Never heard of him. And Hamza Shiraz has made a habit of getting these things done in quick time. Although this guy could turn out to be a revelation. I don't think it will. But I mean, what more info do I need to give? I've literally just said there won't be any footage, and it's in the description that this is just a live reaction. Why don't you attend shows anymore? Is it because you need to record more content related to the fight? It's kind of something like that. Like, so obviously I'm not attending this particular one because it's obviously in Saudi Arabia, but it comes down to a few things. The bigger shows I really need to for now, because I'm obviously not working on them, as media. So for me, I need to be able to react and be able to do lives and stuff like that. I need to be able to do that. The smaller shows, I probably should be getting to more of them. In fact, I really should be. I really should be. Because there's really no excuse, because I can always do a review the next day and stuff like that if it's a big one. So it's something that I know I need to do. The big shows like this, or like I know in the O2 next month, it's obviously going to be, what's his name, Moses Helmet on pay-per-view. I still can't believe that they only, that's cheeky. They only announced it today that's going to be on pay-per-view. I'll need to do I'll need to do this for it. Absolutely 100%. How's the London lifestyle? Well, I'm still drinking water, not champagne. That's not a bad thing, though. That's by choice. That is by choice. No, I like it here. I have to say, I've got very used to London now. It's nearly 2 years. So, I'm very familiar with this place now at this stage. And yeah, I like it over here. It is good fun. It's been good fun. And yeah, look, I get home at least once every couple of weeks. Like every 6 to 8 weeks, I get home to Ireland. And yeah, that just be good fun. Just, it's like a nice break. It's like the best of both, because you get out of the country, or you get out of the city and you're into the country. And if you could please stop spamming the chat, seriously. If it roughly will start in the next hour. So yeah, I would allow it now. Okay, if he keeps going, then just put him on. You know what they would just put him on timeout very briefly. I don't mind. Oh, there we go, right on cue. Oop. Did I time him out, or was he hidden? Okay, so he was timed out for 300 seconds, and then fractured very kindly. Oh, wow, they are coming in hard tonight. Oh, boy. There we go. Okay. I'm just making sure that everything is A-okay with that. Leave it to the bots, huh? The bots, they are coming in hard. They are coming in heavy. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, let's turn up the volume a little bit, because we've got a fight now. And they're not announcing the fighters just yet. Just Hamza Shiraz walking to the ring. Right. So Hamza Shiraz, let's see. We all know he's one of my favorite fighters to watch. Hamza Shiraz, and he's a cool guy as well. I like Hamza Shiraz. Let's see. He should be getting rid of this guy pretty easy. Yeah, we are taking on the bots tonight, guys. We are taking on the bots. It's always a win. We always get the better of them. But yeah, that's what I mean. But I'd love to know how they work, because you saw, like, when they come in spamming, that's coming in. They're coming in, heavy. Prenga will win this fight. I would be amazed if he did. I would be amazed if he did. Here we go. So let me know. I'll put the volume up a little bit.
The judges are Nermin Androvich, Antonio Maronia.
Do we show the fight? No, we just do a reaction. What time is the fight at? The fight will be, the fight, the next fight, so it'll be after this. So I reckon roughly 11 o'clock there or thereabouts. I reckon roughly 11 o'clock there or thereabouts. Let's wait and see. If this fight ends early, which I think it's highly likely it will if it's Hamza Shiraz, they might get a move on with it. I know with Usyk, when he fought on Usyk's undercard a couple of months ago, they kept it kind of going. Like they literally dragged it out. I don't think they'll do it for this, because that was apparently Usyk who pushed back and said, no, the ring walk is at this time, tough, you know what, if it's an hour away. AJ, I think he'll just get on with it. I think he'll just get on with it. Could be wrong, but I think he will. So Eddie GT 2012, we're looking at roughly, I want to say, mate, roughly in the next hour. So I'm going to say tentatively 11 p.m., but it could be a bit earlier. Could be a bit earlier. I suspect it will be a one-sided beating, but it could be wrong. Well, you never know, but I suspect it will. Simon Zuckerberg. That just doesn't sound like a guy who's going to beat Hamza Shiraz, does it? From Ilford in Essex. Ilford in Essex is a bit of a dump. Not gonna lie, it is. I've been to Ilford once. It's a little bit of a dump. It's a little bit of a dump. Not gonna lie. If you've ever been to Ilford, you'll know. 19 wins by knockout. And he's got the Kronk yellow. Look at that. I'll let the mods take care of that. I'll let the mods. I'm waiting for the mods. We're respecting the wrench here. There we go. There we go. You tied him out for 86,000 seconds. I mean, how long is 86,000 seconds? A long time. So he's gone for a while. It's more so just in case like YouTube algorithms start flagging it, because it's the fact that you have links in it. I think that can cause issues. That's why it's just best to get rid of them. I know no one's going to click on them, but it's the fact that like YouTube could flag you for that. Right, round one underway. Hamza Shiraz, how this guy ever made 154 pounds, I will never know. I mean, he looks, and here's the thing about Hamza Shiraz, he looks just like, that is what Emmanuel Stewart would love in a fighter, because he's tall, he's lanky, he's tremendous power in the right hand, he can use that jab to great effect, as he's doing there. And there's just so much to like about Hamza Shiraz. And he puts these fighters in their place pretty much straight off the bat with his punching power, because his punching power is absolutely phenomenal. We saw that against his last opponent, whom I can't even remember. And he just was terrified to throw any punches. Luke Littler's getting destroyed, is he? Wow. By much? What's the score? That's crazy. I thought Luke Littler was a slam dunk winner in that fight. That guy he was playing isn't even that good. A minute gone in this first round. Hamza Shiraz hasn't really done much now, it has to be said. Good little jab there by Zuckerberg. He got through the guard. The guard of Shiraz is a little bit open, that he is a little bit upright, as you'll see there. But once he lets the shots go, and I think that's one of the problems with Hamza Shiraz. Oh, no, he is destroying. Oh, okay. I was wondering. I thought you said he was getting destroyed. I was like, damn, not losing. Okay, cool. I thought you were, because I was surprised thinking there's no way he's going to lose to that guy. That guy has been quite lucky to get to where he's got. Damn. And I thought this was going to be the most one-sided match on tonight. Damn. Me thinking this was going to be one-sided. Hell no. God almighty. Luke Littler didn't even bring the lube. God damn. Oh, boy. Anyway, let's get back to... Are you doing much with Ring now? I haven't done work with Ring in about a year. I've kind of followed Wade's lead on that and just been like, meh, the hell with that. I like the Ring magazine. I get a lot of stuff out of them, but nah, I like, and to be honest with you, I like the Beeb. They've been flipping dream to deal with. They really have. So, you know, I like what I'm doing now at the minute. Oh, there's a right hand from Hamza Shiraz that went in. I think he already buzzed him slightly with that. Didn't look to follow. And Zuckerberg let some shots go. He's let more shots go than the last guy Hamza Shiraz fought. He looked ancient, that guy. He really did. And no shots getting let go. But Hamza Shiraz, it's a bit of a slow start. You know, he can be a fast starter, but I think he's a fast starter just because he finds those shots early. And he's not going in necessarily looking for the knockout. He just has such good knockout power and such good fundamentals that he just lets it go. And he just lets it go. And big up to Fractured every time, contributing to the crew, man, contributing. Thank you so much, my friend, for the £20. Contributing to the live watch along every single time means a great deal. Round 1 underway. Round 1 now over, actually. I wouldn't, that's one, I would never do anything with RTE. I would, and they never would. They're never going to do boxing anyway, but I would never go near RTE for anything. Never. That's one crowd that if they approach me for anything, I wouldn't do it. Not they ever have, nor would they, but that would be a resounding no if they did. No way. Not in a million years. Why don't you fight John Fury? Gypsy John? If I agreed to it, Gypsy John would move the goalpost like he always does. Could you imagine? Me again. And by the way, Misfits, if you want to go there, Misfits, I'll fight Gypsy John. If you think about it like this, right? If you or Carl Froch wants to fight Gypsy John, and they would make an absolute killing. Like, I know people won't take it, but just think of the money involved. You would, because everyone would watch it. Every single person. Round 2 underway. Let's see what Hamza Shiraz. Hamza Shiraz is someone who can be got to early. He has been got to early. Not got to, but you know what I mean? He's been clipped early, like against Ammo Williams, but he's always found a way to come back. He's got that big, heavy jab. But looking a little bit, that's a good body shot. Oh, that was a good body shot by Hamza Shiraz. He really got that in. Didn't appear to bother Zuckerberg now, to be fair. Now, again, looking at Zuckerberg and looking at his resume, that's a good jab, though, by Zuckerberg. Got it right through the guard of Hamza Shiraz, snapping the head back. And Hamza Shiraz with the big beard. He's rocking the big beard. Now, obviously in Saudi, they've done that with Tyson Fury. Some places will make you shave that. They absolutely would. And we remember the Bradley Skeet fight very well. That was a horrific performance by Hamza Shiraz. And he retired Bradley Skeet. But we may remember Bradley Skeet was winning that fight. And Bradley Skeet, Hamza Shiraz, people say he should have lost the fight against Carlos Adames, and he should have. There's a very good argument he should have lost that Bradley Skeet fight purely on the basis of disqualification. Hitting Bradley Skeet when he was down. That was horrendous. And as we know with Hamza Shiraz, he carries tremendous power. You hit someone when they're down. It's not like a low blow. You're going to have a hard time recovering from being down and being, basically concussed. So Bradley Skeet was never going to get back into that fight. So Hamza Shiraz, he should count his lucky stars that he doesn't have 2 defeats on his record. Instead, he has just a draw. Yeah, absolutely. So Hamza Shiraz against this Zuckerberg guy, Simon Zuckerberg. Probably saying it Zuckinber. Probably keep saying Zuckerberg like he's Zuckerberg, the Facebook guy, Mark Zuckerberg. But Hamza Shiraz, he's got a few little shots hit with in this second round. But again, he's not really letting the shots go. I wonder, and I genuinely do wonder this. Has he been told to just go through the motions and keep this show going at the right time? Because that caused a lot of issues last time around when he got rid of the guy in 2 rounds. Because they had planned on that fight going a couple more rounds. So when Hamza Shiraz got rid of him, I do wonder, has he been told, maybe don't put your foot on the gas straight away, maybe just go through the motions and just see what you can do? The Facebook guy is a boxer now. No, he's not. It just looks so similar, and you just see the name and you're thinking Zuckerberg. Zuckinber is how you pronounce this guy's name. Simon Zuckinber. And yeah, he's letting the shots go. They ain't bothering Hamza Shiraz and they ain't deterring him. But it's not a good look to be seen. Oh, that's a good shot by Hamza Shiraz. It's not a good look to be seen getting outworked like that. Hamza Shiraz is just standing up quite upright, but doesn't appear to be actually having any bother. Although saying that, it's not a good look to be seen getting outworked like that. And bear in mind, once someone was coming in, as in Carlos Adames, and letting the right hand go, it's weird. Hamza Shiraz just could never make the necessary adjustments as round 2 comes to an end. Always got to bring up the Bradley Skeet fight. Yeah, we always got to bring up the never forget the Bradley Skeet fight. What else do we have? Is a really structured picture. Are you talking about, my picture is fine. And bear in mind, I'm on normal DAZN, or I have the ultimate package. The ultimate DAZN package and all. So, but it's perfect. And bear in mind, right, I'm not only watching DAZN, I'm doing a live stream. So my Wi-Fi is, it's working overtime. And no issues. Perfectly crystal clear. Hope I haven't jinxed it. Perfectly crystal clear picture. Live stream working a treat. So yeah, it could just be unfortunate. Maybe some are affected, some aren't. Now mine is thank God, touch wood, a-okay. Round 3 is underway. Surprised we're getting this far, to be honest with you. Hamza Shiraz, his first defense of his WBO, newly won WBO title. He only won that title little over 2 months ago, so it's a very quick turnaround. That was a nice little short uppercut there on the inside by Hamza Shiraz. And that's one thing about Hamza Shiraz. He is so tall, even for super middleweight. He has such an upright stance and he has such a high guard that you could easily get an uppercut in. But it's very difficult to land an uppercut like that against someone like Hamza Shiraz. He doesn't lean in, he doesn't lean over his lead foot. So it kind of eliminates that shot. But if someone was taller, you might actually have a chance with that. Carl Frampton, of course, given the first 2 rounds of Hamza Shiraz, as you would expect. Hamza Shiraz, that was a nice uppercut by Hamza Shiraz. That had landed, that would have been lights out. As you would expect, Fan Zone likewise, given the first 2 rounds to Hamza Shiraz. No one is arguing with that whatsoever. It is clearly Hamza Shiraz's fight so far, but it is very early. And this Simon Zuckerberg, he has that very, solid, German European style. Just, hands up high, look for opportunities, punch when it's safe, and just let the shots go. He has that very safe kind of upright style, which was really effective 10 years ago. You think of the likes of Arthur Abraham, but really since those guys, and Robert Stieglitz, since those guys have been gone, you've really not seen actually German boxing really do much the last couple of years. And Jürgen Bremer was another one. Used to pick their shots very carefully, and they were normally very much quality, over quantity. We don't really see those type of guys now. Used to be a job for a UK fighter to try and win a fight against a German fighter. Not so much these days. But again, this fight, it's not really catching life like the previous fight did. Kelly versus Ninjago was brilliant. I enjoyed that fight thoroughly. This fight so far, it's been a little bit, dull, to say the least. Hamza Shiraz looking for the open, has taken a couple of jabs from Simon Zuckerberg, to be fair, but never really has looked like being in a shred of trouble. Very wide stance as well with the yellow shorts. Proper Kronk style. Proper Kronk fighter there. Being trained by Andy Lee in South Dublin, in Ballybrack. And a little bit of red there as well. But yeah, 30 seconds to go in round 3. Really not catching life at all, in and out. Ain't really catching life at all. It really ain't. But look, this is co-main event. I suspect we are just going through the motions. I really do think that, until we get a big knockout, which I think with Hamza Shiraz can come at any given moment. But he is winning this fight. He is winning these rounds, as round 3 is about to close. We've only got 10 seconds left. And Hamza Shiraz, first defense of his WBO title, he is having no problem. We see Jason Quigley there ringside in the corner. Ben Whitaker has warned you not to go. Ben Whitaker is, I've never had an issue with Ben Whitaker myself personally, and I think he is improving. Ballybrack for me is, if I was home in Dublin, Ballybrack's too far for me to go. Well, it's not too far. It's in Dublin, but it's the complete other side of the city. I'd just be like, the hell with that. Like, I wouldn't go unless I had a really good reason to. I would never go to South. I never need to go to Southside. Never need to, unless I had a really good reason. And I haven't had a really good reason to go there in a while. And anytime actually I have gone Southside, oh boy, it's just like, I could tell you some stories, and it's been not fun. It's not been fun. So I avoid it. I'll stick to the north side of Dublin. It's more fun. They're only wrapping AJ and Prenga now. So we are on course for 11 p.m. start, definitely. Round number 4 underway. Hamza Shiraz in the yellow, Simon Zuckerberg in the white. And people, this fight, to say the least, is, let's just say, not caught light. Trying to rhyme there. But Hamza Shiraz put a bit more weight on that jab, using it as a good rangefinder. Actually, you see what he's doing with his jab in hand. He's leaving that jab in hand out. That was something that Vladimir Klitschko used to do. That was actually how he set Anthony Joshua up for the right hand. What he's doing with that is, you're actually constantly looking at that left hand, because you know the jab is coming. You know it's coming, but what you can do is, the jab has closer to travel. So you're waiting for the jab, you're anticipating it. You don't have to bring it back the whole way back, and you can launch a right hand over it. If you remember the Joshua Klitschko fight, that was how Vladimir Klitschko, Joshua bought the jab hand, it was out too far, and he just threw that right hand over it. And Joshua, well, we all know what happened there. It's amazing how he was able to get through that 6th round. But again, that is typical Kronk style. That's very typical. Lennox Lewis used to do it. Klitschko did it to great effect. He always had that jab and hand out just a little bit further out, didn't have far to travel, and then he would launch that right hand over it. When he fought the likes of Kubrat Pulev, who were great jabbers as well, that's where that kind of came undone. It came unstung a little bit, but he had that left hook as well, which Hamza Shiraz, I believe, has a decent left hook as well, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, if he's a decent jab, he's bound to have a decent left hook. But a lot of the power for Shiraz is in that right hand. Looking to set that right hand up, but Zuckerberg's defense, he's just got a very tight guard. And you can tell Shiraz is looking for the opportunity, but it isn't coming. Now, he really should, and I think Andy Lee should be telling him in the corner, go for the body, because when he's gone and thrown that left hook to the body, it's been there. There's the right hand that goes in from Hamza Shiraz, no real power on it. A minute to go in round number 4. Whenever he's thrown that right hand or that left hand to the body, he's found a home for it. He really should be letting that go. I really hope so. I really hope he would, because these adverts are a joke. The adverts on the phone, they still show, at least on mine, because mine will still show adverts. They still let you see the picture. But yeah, YouTube with ads these days have been, I mean, it's content creators affected as well, man. It's not just you. They've been taking the biscuit with ads these last, pretty much since Christmas time. They've been taking the biscuit with it. And yeah, it means more revenue at the end of the month, but still, you know, I'm only human. I would rather be able to watch a video uninterrupted. I mean, if you get a 20-minute video, oh boy, it's not fun. It's a minefield of ads. It really is. 10 seconds left in round 4. That was a good body shot again. That's what I mean. Go to the body, Hamza Shiraz, because once you do, and actually that was a good exchange, actually. Zuckerberg actually landed a little shot there in that exchange with Hamza Shiraz. But if he can go to that's a good left hook as well to end the round. My bestie, Dave Allen. My absolute bestie. I forgot he was fighting. If Dave Allen had anything to him, like if he had any ambition, he should be beating Thomas Carty. He really should. But the problem is, right, he fought Hrgovic in May, and he was 240 something pounds. Now he fought in June, was it? It was last month, I think, right? It was last month thereabouts. And he was 270 pounds. He gained 2 stone in what, like 6 weeks? People, that's not a good sign. That really isn't a good sign at all. You gained 2 stone in 6 weeks. And you're training for a fight at the same time. That has me thinking he's going to go into this Carty fight probably out of shape again. And that'll be the career over. Because Thomas Carty is no great shakes at all. And you're losing to him, I mean, that's it. It's a wrap. I mean, you can get around it losing to guys like Filip Hrgovic and people who you should be losing to. But Thomas Carty is going to do Jack you-know-what in boxing. So if you lose to him, I mean, stick a fork in him. Now, round 5 is, I missed the first 30 seconds of round 5, by the way. But yeah, round 5 underway. Hamza Shiraz, a good jab from Hamza Shiraz. Getting actually a bit closer with the jab now, actually using that jab and letting it go a little bit more. Hamza Shiraz looked flat, I have to say, in this fight. He really, that's a good right hand again. He's been hit by a few right hands, Hamza Shiraz, as well, by Simon Zuttenberg. And he is, again, with the body shot. And that body attack. Now Hamza Shiraz letting some of these short shots go, letting the hooks go, because he's been looking for straight shots, and he's just had no success with them. Carl Frampton has a clean sweep on the scorecards, as you would expect, and it is a Hamza Shiraz fight. He is winning this fight. But I'm seeing a few little things coming back from Zuttenberg. He's definitely trying. I mean, God loves a trier. But there we go. And there's the hook to the body again. The hook that I was saying was working for Hamza Shiraz. He is so focused, Zuttenberg, of blocking the headshots. He is open for some of them body shots. And Hamza Shiraz seems very happy to oblige. And I can't blame him for wanting to oblige, because the body is there. You should go for it. Hamza Shiraz leading in a minute and 30 to go now in this 5th round. But Hamza Shiraz leaning in over his front foot there slightly. Needs to be careful about that. Damn. As I said, I thought there'd be a one-sided beating tonight. It's not coming from this card. It's coming from Luke Littler of the World Match Play. I mean, he is honestly, that's incredible. Like, that's actually insane. That really is how good that kid is. It's crazy. He's only 20 years old. Is he? He's not even 20, is he? No, he's not even. He's not 20 until next year. It's crazy. Albanian head. Speaking in far, there's a lot of people who've left the Albanian flag, so I think there's a lot of fans. And Albania as a nation, they get behind their fighters. I mean, Florian Marku, he was one of the reasons when Florian Marku was fighting on matchroom shows and stuff like that. One of the reasons why a lot of us content creators did videos on him, and me and loads of others did them at the time. One of the reasons why we did vids on him was purely because you would get, seriously, you do a vid on Florian Marku, you're getting 20,000 views. Not because he's popular in the UK, it's because he was huge in Albania. And they really, in fairness to them, they get behind their fighters. I mean, Marku wasn't particularly good, but a couple of my most viewed videos have been reviews of Florian Marku. And even people, even just discussing. I mean, remember when Marku, they announced he was fighting Ryland Charlton? People did vids on that and just said, oh, Marku's fighting Charlton. And they were all getting like 10,000 plus views. I mean, Florian Marku, it's insane when you think about it. But yeah, they get behind their fighters. They really do. I mean, I think, look, Prenga ain't going to win this fight, but he'll definitely have support from his country. And it is something that is nice to see. It is nice to kind of see guys like that. Hope you have a good one. Oh, we will have a great one, man. Don't be worrying. Don't be worrying. We will have a great one. But yeah, I need to apologize. Ed. I look it up. I was curious. You got that there. I think you were just wondering. I was wondering that myself, but then I was thinking, oh yeah, there's been a lot of Albanian flags dropped in the chat earlier. So, well, it might. I mean, it might very well. Yeah, listen. I mean, I'm all for it. Get behind. Look, if your fighter's fighting, he's from your country, get behind him. I might not think he'll win, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, Bulgaria, when Kubrat Pulev was unbeaten, people used to get behind him so much, and Pulev was a decent-ish heavyweight, and so they do, in Eastern Europe, they don't, countries like Bulgaria and Albania don't get many fighters, certainly top-level fighters, so when they get someone with a bit of traction, they get behind their boy. Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines, he still does brilliant views now. You do a vid on Manny Pacquiao, we can go fairly viral. I mean, John Real Casimero was another one. You wouldn't think it, but they did well. Very well views. And we're into round 6. We've missed the first 4. Well, I haven't missed. I've been watching it, but I haven't commentated on the 40 seconds of round number 6. Power shots thrown by Shiraz 100. He's landed double. He's landed double the amount of power shots. So he is winning this fight handily just based off of that. But you do wonder, when are we going to see we do a live stream for the Zhang fight? Is Zhilei Zhang fighting? I wasn't even aware he was. Will I do it? Is Zhang fighting? If someone could... Wow, I didn't even know he was fighting if he is. You would get great viewing figures from China on that. You get absolutely great ones. If George is asking when the fight's on, yeah, Ed's right. Fractured Net are right. They're about 30 minutes from now, roughly. Once this fight ends, we should get going pretty quick. I did think this fight would have ended by now, truth be told, but Shiraz is not making hard work of it. This guy, Simon Zuttenberg, he's defensively a lot better than I gave him credit for. He is sticking in there. He's taken a few good shots, it has to be said. Taking some serious body shots from Hamza Shiraz. Absolutely lethal. Oh, heads came together a little bit there. But yeah, he is not going anywhere. He's not winning, but he's not even marked up in the face. I mean, look at that. I mean, Hamza Shiraz, normally when he hits these guys, they are going. Not even any marks in the face. And body shots. And again, Hamza Shiraz still looks significantly better. And he's really leaning into some of those shots now. But Zuttenberg still fighting back. Still looking to fight fire with fire, not giving up. He's outgunned and probably outstrength as well. Shiraz is massive in there. But he is still pushing forward. He is still looking to get something. He obviously still believes that he can land a haymaker or a punch from the gods at something. It's looking evidently more likely that he isn't. And that was a right hand that Hamza Shiraz hit him with there, just there. Look to take it all right, but 30 seconds left in this round. Hamza Shiraz has won every round of this fight, undoubtedly. But he is being made to work for it. It's a good run out. As another body shot goes in from Hamza Shiraz. At some point, those body shots, they are going to take their toll. They always tend to do. 15 seconds left in round number 6. We're about to go into the halfway point of this fight, which I really didn't think we'd get this far. But Hamza Shiraz about to go into the halfway point. He's ahead, and we are looking forward to the main event. I still can't wait to see, just to see AJ, just to see how he looks. It's been nearly 2 years since he's had a meaningful fight, as in against a real opponent. And I am absolutely looking forward to this. I still can't quite believe that Hrgovic at Helma is on pay-per-view. They didn't, and that wasn't announced until tonight. I cannot believe that. Canelo and Billy, I won't be watching that. I love Canelo, but I just can't. I just think that something's missing from Canelo. Doesn't hold the extreme advantage he used to. Oh God, no. No, he doesn't. And yeah, it was bad, the weight advantage that he had at 160 pounds. It really was. I mean, when he fought Tyler Denny, who was not a bad fighter, that was just crazy. You know, the weight advantage was it's actually ridiculous how much bigger he was. Big up to G-Man, going from strength to strength. Thank you to Cash Boy Hope. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Long time sub. I recognize the name. There's certain subs names I just recognize. I've seen them a few times. I'm like, oh, that's a long-term sub ever I saw one. So big up to you guys, the long-term subs. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you absolutely all. Appreciate Carl Frampton for his scorecard. Every round to Hamza Shiraz. No issues with that whatsoever. Every single round given to Hamza Shiraz. Same with the Fan Zone scorecards. Every single round to Hamza Shiraz. It is going to be interesting to see because Fan Zone, when they're picking who they think is going to win a fight pre-fight, it can be very interesting to see what the percentage of people who they think will win is. And actually, where's Frank Warren? Isn't Hamza one of Frank's guys? And he is not in attendance. And I don't even think I see Queensbury on the ring. Because Hamza Shiraz, Queensbury fighter, pretty much since day dot, we ain't seeing a certain Mr. Frank Warren, which I find very interested. We see the Matchroom Boxing logo in there, all right, in Jeddah, place we haven't been to in a long time. That's a nice little left hook that Hamza Shiraz landed up close there, by the way. But he is still being made to work. But this Simon Zuttenberg, he is not giving up the ghost. He is actually still letting these shots go. He is still throwing punches. Hamza Shiraz really being made to work here. Really being made to work for this one. And again, I think that fighters will look at this performance, and because again, people are reactionary, right? They'll look at this performance by Hamza Shiraz and say, right, this guy he fought wasn't exactly the best. He was fairly unknown, fairly run of the mill. If you could go in there with him, you couldn't get the better of him. And yeah, you probably won every round, but you didn't set the world alight. A lot of other contenders or a lot of other champions in the 168-pound division will look at that and say, maybe I've got the beating of this guy. Maybe. Because the 168-pound division is not exactly stacked at the minute. You've got guys like Mbile, who I never really rated. Lester Martinez, who is quite good. That would be a tricky fight for Hamza Shiraz, because Lester Martinez is decent. He's a decent fighter. But he's lucky. He's in a division which is a little bit opened. We've heard people like Denzel Bentley, who are now world champion at 160, mention Chris Eubank Jr., who is looking to move up to shots getting landed there again by Zuttenberg. That he wants to move to 168 pounds. So the lay of the land is a little bit strange at 168 pounds. It's another shot Zuttenberg lands on Hamza Shiraz. Having success with the left hook in this round. Interesting. Wonder if he's found his money punch in there. He is a one-trick pony in Billy. He really is. G. Wogan. I seen a lot of people mention that. Actually in the on the vid. Yeah, G. Wogan. For those who don't know what that's a reference to, the Irish broadcaster Terry Wogan, who was like, he was like part of the furniture at the BBC. I saw a lot of people. Actually, I'm not complaining, by the way. That's a good one to say. I saw a lot of people mention that. All right, and I was like, I'll take the G. Wogan. I will take that reference. I will take that absolutely. The next podcast should be out Wednesday, but that's in audio format. I reckon they're going to release the YouTube vid on, and it's the same thing, but just, you can see us. So Wednesday for the podcast audio, should be Thursday for the video version, and then the radio version, which is shortened, is on a Saturday morning at about 11 o'clock. So just so you know. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm still very happy about that. How is Prenga doing so far? Well, Prenga's not actually fought yet, so this is Hamza Shiraz versus Simon Zuttenberg. So it's the co-main. So after this fight, we're 8 rounds into a 12 rounds. After this fight, it's the main event. So imagine me and Terry Wogan on a podcast. That'd be, well, obviously Terry Wogan's dead now, but that would have been funny. Terry Wogan had a flipping amazing voice. Like, he had a radio voice. If like he was good on camera too, but Wogan was brilliant. He really was. He had such a like, Wogan's voice was kind of almost relaxing at times when you heard it. It was really good. I like Terry Wogan a lot. I really did. Big fan. Big fan. R.I.P. 10 years gone. Terry Wogan, actually 10 years. Died in January 2016, as far as I'm aware. It was definitely 2016. I think it was January time. A little bit of trivia there. And I agree with Absolute Boxing. Yeah, this fight has not been, it's not caught fire at all. And yeah, it can be difficult, people. We know when a fight doesn't catch fire, it's difficult, you know. Wogan did do the Eurovision. He was a joy. He did the Eurovision. He did Children in Need. He did a lot of things. He did a lot. Terry Wogan. He did his BBC show, and yeah, it would put a glass eye to sleep. It's not been fun. And actually, you know, Simon Zuttenberg, he's getting more kind of, you know, lively. He's getting more shots through. So if anything, he's actually getting this fight to go a little bit. He's actually he's trying his best in there. I can't complain with that. I can't complain. Wogan always had a glint in his eye doing the Eurovision. He did. He was very good at that. Like, he was a great presenter, Terry Wogan. He really was. You know, he just had so much about him. And yeah, no, big up. He was a big loss because he went downhill very quick, very quick. He was still doing stuff in 2015, and I think it was the C word. And then he didn't do Children in Need the back end of 2015, and then boom, he was gone. It was crazy, really, when you think about it. Crazy. Which, how this goes to show how kind of disinteresting this fight has been, because we're talking about Terry Wogan when we should be talking about this fight, but it's just not caught fire. I don't want to sound like a negative you know what in this, but yeah, it's really not caught fire, this fight. But we excuse me. We have 40 seconds now, 35 seconds to go in this round. And yeah, I will be waving fond farewell to this fight, and I will be I won't be recommending people go back and watch, in spite of how this ends. I won't be going back to watch this fight anytime soon if it carries on the way it is. It probably won't carry. It'll carry on the way it is. This got 12 rounder written all over it now at this stage, and we've got 10 seconds to go here. And oh, that was a worry there. The zone, that wasn't that. I think that was the camera on the zone having the issue more so than the zone. People earlier were commenting saying that there was not issues with the zone, but yeah, they should have done Josh Kelly as co-main, because that was better. That was a better fight. Excuse me. Big up to Michael, great channel, well done on the BBC pod. Thank you very, very much. Got it ready for work on Monday. You will enjoy it, I really do. Hope Hamza's so overrated, in my opinion. I feel that the golden boy for Turkey, and no one says a bad word about him. Well, it's difficult to say a bad word about him because he is a likable guy. You can definitely criticize him 100%, though. You know, he lost, in my opinion, to Carlos Adames. He should have been DQ'd against, I mentioned his name a second ago, Bradley Skeet. Overrated. Like, I don't think he's a bad fighter. He's not a bad fighter. But yeah, he was gifted. He was gifted that WBO belt. He's in there with a tough guy, and he is looking a bit one-dimensional. I'm not going to lie. You're right. He's looking a bit one-dimensional. Don't think he's overrated, but I certainly think that we know he can't be got to. Like, Hamza Shiraz is not invincible. Certainly not. Edgar Berlanga, as many of you will know, I was never overly keen on Edgar Berlanga. I always thought he was grotesquely overrated. That's all he could do was punch. That's it. Nothing else. He was all punch and nothing else. I mean, Jay Quigley, Jay Quigley, if he wasn't dropped a couple of times in that fight was very competitive. You should not be having competitive fights with Jason Quigley. No way. Certainly at that stage in his career as well. So I wasn't too surprised Hamza Shiraz got the beating of Edgar Berlanga. I thought he would. Not in that devastating fashion. But yeah, this fight, He's lost the last couple of rounds on Carl Frampton scorecards as well. You can't argue with that, really. He's been outworked those last 2 rounds by Simon Zuttenberg. And if a judge maybe gives Zuttenberg one of the earlier rounds, look, it's not a competitive fight, really, in that regard. But Hamza Shiraz, he's now covered himself in glory in this fight so far. It's really been anticlimactic. And you could see Andy Lee reading him the riot act in between rounds in the last round. Because I think that he is a better fighter than this. And I think you need to see it. But again, he's getting caught with shots there. Now he's letting some shots go. That's a good uppercut from Hamza Shiraz, letting the uppercut go. But again, still, his opponent's not even moved. Not even remotely moved there. I would love you to... I'm struggling with his opponent's surname. Zackenberg. Am I getting it right now? I'm you know me and names. I ain't great. I ain't great. It wouldn't shock me if Turkey did say let this fight go rounds, because that was the issue they had with him last time, because he was co-main when Usyk fought Verhoeven, and that kind of upset the timing of the show a little bit. It really was. Can't watch it right now. What's the surname so far? What's the surname so far? It's Simon Zackenberger. Zackenberg. I'm, again, getting it wrong, which I often do with names, unfortunately. But Hamza Shiraz, I can get that right every time. Every time. Easy. Easy one. Get that right every single time. One thing Hamza Shiraz isn't getting right is entertaining us in this fight. It is summary, not surname. Oh, apologies. Summary. I read that too quick. Apologies. Apologies. There's not really much to say. It's been... Hamza Shiraz was winning the early rounds, and he still is. But he's come back into it his opponent a little bit the last couple of rounds. It's been a very pedestrian-like performance. It really has been. I mean, I can't say I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from Hamza in here. And it's more so how pedestrian he's looking. You know, it's not being fought at a frantic pace. He's not in there with someone who is applying, you know, great deal of pressure. I think that we need to see more from both guys, in particular Hamza Shiraz, because he definitely has more gears to go through. So that's the summary. Apologies. I read that too. I just saw someone. I was like, oh, surname, brilliant. Yeah, no, apologies, mate. So that's the summary. Oh, dear. And on that note, I'll take a sip of water. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Do you know what it is, right? When a fight's like this, and it's just not crazy entertaining, it kind of, you know what, when you're just trying to stay upbeat and you're just like, oh my god. You're like, oh my god. It's nearly 11 on a Saturday. It is. And again, when a fight's like this, there's just nothing upbeat about it. It's just like so hard to stay focused. And it's just like, oh my god, I need something to, you know, get me through this. There's 9 minutes left to go in this fight, and we are going to most likely see the flipping 9 minutes out. And I'm just like, oh my god, please, 9 minutes to go, please. What did Peter say? Now I really want to see Jacob Bank in there. Jacob Bank. I can't say that name rings a bell. No, I have to say. I always wondered what these kind of fights do. Do the commentators get bored? I think it's easier when you've got more than one person there, because you can kind of have, not banter, but, you know, you can kind of discuss with your co-commentator and stuff like that. When it's something like this, it's just really myself. Obviously, I've got you guys in the chat, but excuse me. I've got you guys in the chat, but there's not really anything else. When a fight is quite boring, I think the commentators, if there's like 2 or 3 of them, they can, you know, kind of, you know, bounce off one another. And honest to God, like, that's why HBO, I always go back to them, was so good, because a dull fight, you would have Jim Lampley, you would have Larry Merchant, you would have, I love George Foreman was my favorite personally, because he was hilarious. And you would often get something between the 3 of them, you know, it would get you through it. And especially when it was George Foreman, because he was so disagreeable, it was just hilarious. Like, it really was. It was just hilarious the whole time with George Foreman. Whenever he was on any, like, whatever he would say, he'd just disagree with them. And that proper wasn't the proper wasn't the wife. I don't even think it was the wife. I think it was just StreamYard. StreamYard is weird. When you have more than one person in StreamYard, it gets a little bit weird. That's why I don't like using it for having guests on, even though I don't have, you know what I mean? I don't particularly like using it. OBS and Riverside are meant to be a lot better and a lot more, because I've never had any issues with Riverside or OBS, never. And I've been a guest on loads and I've never had an issue. But yet StreamYard, it can get a little bit weird. And we didn't have any issues until Proper went live and he hit live, and it was like, what the hell? I was like, what's going on here? Why am I, not having this or that? So yeah, OBS and Riverside are a lot better. A lot better. You'd have a lot more, you have a lot less bugs with them. Someone please explain to me where Mercedes pace went today. They look done. Yeah, I thought they'd struggle at Hungary all right, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. I thought that was a Ferrari track, but evidently I was wrong. It was a McLaren track. Big up to Lando Norris. Big up to Lando Norris on pole. He should win the race now. I would imagine he will, but yes, I was surprised myself with where the pay. I didn't think they'd be so far off. I thought that they'd struggle a little bit more. It'd be more competitive, but yeah. That means Zandvoort will probably be tough as well, because I like Zandvoort. That's a good track. But it's not as bad as Hungary. It's a bit more fast paced. But they might struggle there too, just with the twisty turns and the slow corners. There's not as many slow corners in Zandvoort as there is in Hungary. But yeah, it's interesting, wasn't it? It's interesting. And Lewis Hamilton, I mean, that obstruction of Oscar Piastri was just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's a penalty. And he's lucky they didn't give him a 5th place, because he really obstructed him bad. So yeah, he's lucky he didn't. He's lucky it's only 3 places, and that Antonelli got knocked back a few places as well. So the only problem is, right, he should have been, because actually one of the problems for Hamilton now is that in Hungary it's famously bad on the dirty side, on the even numbered side, and he went from being second on the uneven side to being 5th on the even side, or the uneven side, which is better, and now he's back on the even side, which is not good. So yeah, never rains but it pours. Oh, he'll definitely do a speech. He will. Round 11 is underway. Now AJ will do a speech, definitely. In fact, I'd be amazed if he doesn't. I'd be amazed if AJ doesn't do a speech of some sorts. I'd be amazed. He normally tends to do that. And obviously we see Lats and Cena on the ring canvas, which is a great touch. Is Fury there? That I don't know. I know Spencer Brown, his manager. I can't take him serious. He's there. We see the Pound Shop Joe Stunner. Big up the Joe Stunner box, and Rick Reno in there as well. And that Rick Reno, I can Hamza Shearis, what on earth are you doing getting hit with shots like that? Hamza Shearis is not looking good in there at all. Like, he really isn't looking good in there at all. Like, he is getting hit with a lot of shots now at this stage. I mean, he got hit with a big combination there as well. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Like, silly shots like that for someone of Hamza Shearis's level, he shouldn't be getting hit with like that. No way. Absolutely no way. And people 204, well, nearly 250 in the build and only 86 likes. And by the way, if you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, do please consider hitting subscribe. I would love to see if we could get to 30,800 on stream. We're only 12 subs off, by the way. So if you haven't already, if you're one of the 200 plus people in the build, and if you haven't, do please consider hitting subscribe as well as hitting the like button. I haven't asked many times on this live, but it's the calm before the storm. It is the calm before the storm. Well, one of the reasons it's rare the pole sitter wins is the last couple of years. Well, I think last year Lando won from pole, I'm pretty sure. The year before he gave it to Oscar. The year before, 2 years in a row, Mercedes didn't have the quickest car, but they just maximized everything. So, and obviously it was a wet race in 21. I think that there's just been circumstances as to why the pole sitter hasn't won at Hungary. But I think if all is fair tomorrow, Lando should win. Lando should really be winning. And he's lucky because he's got basically Oscar Piastri now. Is Oscar P4 now or P3? I think he's P3 now. So he's got basically Oscar in his rear. So he should be winning the race. Lando Norris, he should be. The McLaren's a good car. It really is. It's just unfortunate that they got dragged into Like, if they hadn't have been dragged into a championship battle with Max last season, I really think they'd be ahead of Ferrari right now, because they had to focus on winning the championship. Where it looked like they were going to walk it in the first half of the season, and Max came back. So yeah, I think had not been for that, McLaren would probably be Mercedes' closest rivals, and they probably would have. They could have won in Japan. They really could have. So, the McLaren's a good car. It really is. And Lando and Oscar are good drivers. They both really are. Although Oscar has spoken about these cars not suiting his style, and I despise these cars. I can't put into words how much I hate these 26 cars. They're awful. They're diabolical. They really are. I hate the battery. I hate everything they're doing with them. They're diabolical. I don't know what. I just can't wait for 2030 when they bring in the V8 back. That's going to be fun. I miss the V8s. I love the V8s. Oh, thank God we are nearly done. Last round, people. Getting ready for the last round. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We are nearly done. Oh boy. Oh boy, this fight. You know what? I wish they'd done the main of these co-mains in reverse. I wish they'd done Kelly and Jago co-main, because that was a great fight. This has just been, oh my God. What a struggle this fight has been to get through. But it's nearly, as they say, take us home, please. Take us home. End it all. Let's get this fight over and done with. Last round in what has been a fight that really, really has not been entertaining at all. But it will lead us into the main event, which I suspect we will see a devastating knockout from Anthony Joshua. Yeah, I've kind of not been watching this fight either, really. I've been focusing on the chat a little bit more. But I will watch this last round just to see if anything entertaining takes place. And it does, actually, because Hamza Shearer gets hit with another big left hook. Didn't bother him. And neither guy literally looks like they have a scratch on their face. Neither guy does. Oh, he's definitely not winning. He's definitely not winning. There's no ifs or buts there. He's not winning this fight. But he's been competitive, if nothing else, and it has just not been entertaining in the slightest. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, mate. And if you think he's winning, I personally don't. Although he definitely has come into it the last couple of rounds. I mean, there's no ifs or buts about that. He's won a few. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like a 9-3 or 8-4 type of a scorecard in favor of Hamza Shiraz. But I personally don't have him winning. But, entitled to your opinion, 100%, man. If you think he's winning. I thought Kevin Jago was ahead going into the last round against Josh Kelly, to be honest with you. So, we all see things different. It's 100%. Honestly, I'm not expecting a decision from AJ. Well, I'd be very surprised if he get a decision. I think AJ is going to beat the brakes off Kristian Prenga. I mean, he's very limited, Prenga. He really is. Like, if you see the clips, he's really not a good fighter. Really not. And you can tell, like, when fighters have records like that and they're not picked up by any major promoter, you can tell they know damn well. Although saying that, there's fighters out there who are not particularly talented who've got great deals. Johnny Fisher, Damazion Van Houter, or Van Hooter, however you pronounce his name. The two of them are absolutely diabolical, and they've apparently got good deals with Zuffa. So, he's fighting someone. Cam's getting found out. He's fighting someone his height. He is still the taller man, but Hamza Shiraz, if he fights someone his own height, who is not as limited as Zackenberg, then he could find himself in a spot of bother. Look, Hamza Shiraz is beatable. We've seen it. Carlos Adames beat. We just didn't get the decision. So Shiraz, we know, is beatable. But the super middleweight division, it's not exactly stacked. It's not exactly stacked with talent. It's not exactly strong. As this fight, mercifully, is about to come to an end. And it could not end sooner. Yeah, Zuffa boxing. Yeah, that was a real Zuffa box. Thank God. That's it. It's over. It's done. We're done. It's finished. Oh, that was painful. That's 36 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Yeah, Zuffa taken over by Johnny Fisher. I still don't get that signing. I really don't, but to each his own. Nathan Heaney retiring in September, is he? Nathan Heaney's had a weird career. he was very old when he started getting like by boxing standards. You do wonder if he'd have got more pushed on earlier on in his career, how good could he have been? Because the British title is nothing to turn your nose up to. Straighten that up a bit. It's got moved there. It's nothing to turn your nose up at too. But he probably could have done a little bit more. He was in his late 30s when he won his British title. It's crazy. Honestly, enjoyed Fury Whack more. That was more fun. It had a little bit more to it. That was just... Did not enjoy that at all. And that's the thing, you know. When a fight's like that, it's not... When a fight's like that, it just takes a bit of life out of you. It really does. Yeah, he won that against Denzel Bentley. That shocked me. There are very few things in boxing that shock me. Him beating Denzel Bentley and the run Bentley was on, and he went on after, that really surprised me. I personally think Denzel Bentley didn't take him serious, and he just thought it's going to be an easy win. And I think that was a lesson learned. Just don't. Because Bentley, you know, I still look back at that Felix Cash fight, and I'm not making no accusations, but I suspect Felix Cash had extra help, if you know what I mean, in that fight. Let's have a listen to the scorecards.
So much to do, so many opportunities. It was wide open, and I think Hamza will be happy he's won. Obviously, he's defending the title.
He'll be happy he's won, but that was not a good performance. There you go, Tony Bellew. Say it like it is.
Who's ready? And still or
and still.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12.
Boy, that was awful. It's diabolical.
Judge Antonio Maronia scores it 114 to 114, even a draw.
Wow.
Judge Valerio Mosca scores it 115 to 113.
Oh boy.
And Judge Nermin Androvic scores it 116 to 112.
That's definitely Hamza Shiraz.
For your winner by majority decision. And still.
I knew that. Are they booing? I thought I heard some boos there. Wow. 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 I mean, Hamza gets to this. That's wow. Only a majority. Wow. He was catching him a lot. Oh yeah, you're right there. They booed in the 12th round. Wow. But it's more that they booed the decision. Oh wow. That's wow. And you see a performance like that, that's gonna make a lot of people in the division be like, I want to fight Hamza Shiraz next. Wow. It was an awful fight. It really was. By the way, there's 276 in the building. If you haven't already, do please consider hitting the like and hitting the subscribe button. We're not a million miles. I want to hit the 100 likes. We're only 2 likes off 100 likes. And we're only, how many subs? We're only 12 off. I want to get to 31K. Been on 30 too long. Been on 30 now for nearly 2 months. It's too long. I should be getting close to, should be well on 31. I should be on my way to 40 by now. It's way too long. So yeah, that is, I couldn't believe it was that close. I really couldn't. But, you know, that's the way things go. As I just do a quick check on my social medias while I'm there. Wow, Luke Littler. I'm seeing it here. He absolutely battered Dirk van Duijvenbode. Who does he play in the final now? So I'm gonna check. I'm gonna just check and see because I didn't see the first game. Gezi Price, Luke Littler. Okay. I mean, that's the final everyone wanted. Let's be real, isn't it? Gezi Price, Luke Littler. Gezi Price is the only one who can actually, I believe, on his day, take Luke Littler on. Because Luke Littler, I'm just looking at the order of merit for the PDC here, right? Luke Littler made his professional debut, what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, right? And the amount of prize money he's made, over £3 million in 2 years. That's insane. He's not even 20 years old. Over £3 million in prize money. God only knows the amount he's getting from sponsors. That's the problem, is that Phil Taylor back in the day, if you won the world championship, you got like 50 grand, right? You get £1 million now. That's the difference, right? But that was one of the reasons why he had to keep playing, because like you're making probably 6 figures a year, but you still need to, you're only making like 50 grand for winning the world championships. And obviously 50 grand, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, went further than it does today. But still, that was one of the reasons why he kept playing and he kept winning. Man's got £3 million plus the sponsorships. Yeah, some are saying it's 10, 20. I mean, like, at the end of the day, right, by the time Luke Littler is 26, 27, that's it. He's already set for life, but that's it. He's set. How do you find the motivation? Like, how do you actually do it? Spencer Brown, there he is. There he is. Spencer Brown, that's all I need to say. I don't need to say any more. There he is. It just brings a smile to my face. A very cynical smile, but a smile nonetheless. Oh, dear. Good old Spencer Brown. Good old Spencer Brown. What more can you say? What more can we say? Hamza Shiraz wasn't doing enough. You're absolutely right. I just did think he won enough of the early rounds. I didn't think it would be as close as that, but blimey, majority decision. And one judge, genuine, like that, you only think about it like this. One of the earlier rounds just flip it the other way and you have a draw. And that would have been a second draw in Saudi. That's crazy. I just can't believe the fact they booed the decision. Bet Taylor records, beat Taylor's record. That's the motivation. That is the motivation. But to beat Phil Taylor's record, right, you need to, obviously, as you say, motivation. But when you're making that kind of money and you're having to travel and I don't need to do this, really, that's where it gets hard. That's where it gets very difficult, because there's a lot of traveling in darts, and not just traveling around the UK, around the world, Germany and all that. That's where it gets difficult. You're like, I like my weekends at home. I like seeing my friends and family. I like being a 20-year-old boy. Do I need to go to this place when I have the money there? That's where it's tricky. And because back then when Phil Taylor was playing, like, it was primarily in the UK. Like, it was very much in the UK. So Phil Taylor didn't have to go very far. He lives in Stoke. Go to London well, it wasn't even in London. The World Championships back then was in Essex. And yeah, it's got to be difficult. The Penguin is in the building. That's a good shout. The Penguin. Cobblepot. 10 minutes. All right, people. It says there on screen. I like that. The Zone have a timer. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to the main event. Joshua is looking lean as hell. Oh my days, he is looking lean with his pad man. 10 minutes until the main event. And I don't imagine we're going to be here very long. Gotta say, huge congratulations on the BBC job, Liam. You've come a long way from that old armchair in Dublin. That old armchair was flipping awful. And it wasn't even that old either. It just looked old. It wasn't even that old. Thank you very much to Mick Park. I appreciate that. It's still pretty crazy, that BBC poster. When I got sent that poster on Monday. That was crazy, When we filmed all that, it still didn't feel. When we filmed all that, it just felt like you were filming a normal podcast. And then it's only when you see the BBC all over it, then you're just kind of like, damn, that's when it gets real. And that's when you're like, oh crap. Yeah. But yeah, like it's been mega. And I just appreciate the response has been really good. Really good. So that's, I very much appreciate that. Yeah. I'm still kind of, like, goddamn, BBC, and that's mainstream. So now I can always say, if nothing else, hey, your boys done some work for the BBC, on air. And I'm just, yeah, honestly, it's amazing. It was just incredible. So thank you for the message on that. And yeah, honestly, like, it is crazy. I will let the mods deal with that. As I read this, you put in the work and it pays off. Thank you, my friend. You think Prenga will start throwing haymakers from the start? I think he will. The next Murray Walker. That's one thing. I would love to do something on F1. That's going to be very difficult because F1, that's kind of like, that they have their team. But Murray Walker was incredible. I think I'd be more like, see, if I was the commentator in F1, I'd be more like Martin Brundle, as you know, because I am quite a cynical chap. Murray Walker was the opposite. Murray Walker was just, he always, and I liked him for this, he always gave everyone the benefit of the doubt and he never wanted to badmouth anybody. Whereas Martin Brundle's the opposite. Martin Brundle, back in the 90s and 2000s, he was even more unfiltered than he is now. Andy thinks an upset's incoming. I don't personally, and thank you to Mick as well. I appreciate that. Andy thinks an upset's coming. I would be stunned. I really would be. I mean, the reaction alone would be hilarious for everyone watching because I would be stunned. Who's the most handsome fighter in the heavyweight division? Probably Anthony Joshua. Is probably. So if you're talking about looks, no one's ever really said that. But if you think about looks, I would say it's between AJ. I'd say it's between AJ and Usyk, really, in terms of just sheer looks. Used to be Vlad. Yeah, Vlad had the looks. He definitely had that. But yeah, I would say it's between AJ and Usyk in terms of, who's the most handsome. I'd say it's between those two guys. I'd say I definitely ain't Marius Vac. I definitely ain't him. But yeah, I'd say AJ Usyk. I'd say they're the two I'd give it to in terms of, they're the looks. They got the looks. Some man looks decent. And Usyk really does. I mean, like Usyk's none were prettier than Ali. Now Ali was the GOAT for a reason. But yeah, no, Usyk's always had. I like no matter what hairstyle Usyk uses, it works. When he had the little one thing there, when he had the long hair, no matter what style he uses, he actually always looked good. So I would say Alexander Usyk is up there. Dubois is more about his brains than looks. Dubois is not a terrible looking man. He really isn't. Dubois is not a bad looking man. It's just, can you imagine Dubois? Someone sees, Dubois Dubois is quite attractive, a strong guy, and then, hey, you look nice. Hi. She is gone. Because looks don't mean as much for females. Like if you're a decent looking guy and you're just, you like Dubois, there's not really gonna be you're not gonna do that well. He's lucky he's a heavyweight champion and a multimillionaire. Because for females, it's not all about looks for females. In spite of what they say, it's not. A lot of it is to do with personality and confidence. That's a lot of it. It's the old saying, fake it till you make it. A lot of it has to do with that. It's no good asking us we need a girl in the chat. Yeah, we do, because they could really. But then saying that, some of them have different taste. Some could look at someone like an Alexander Usyk and say, like, nah, that's not really my style. But then they could, genuinely, they could maybe look at someone like a Povetkin or someone like that and say, he's more. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just the way people are. To each his own. The convo went on a tangent. No, Joe Joyce is actually he's quite attractive. He really is. Joe Joyce definitely is. I think who else? Obviously, well, actually, no. I would say and this guy, even more so than AJ, probably David Hay. Like David Hay, he just has, I mean, David Hay is probably, God only knows, how much what David Hay has been doing over the years. I mean, he had Una Healy and someone else going at one stage at the same time. So David Hay has got to be, and David Hay is an absolute hearttropper. Yeah, people just look at David Hay and they're like, yep, he's the guy. Yeah, Wilder's pretty good. Do you know what, Andy Ruiz? I reckon if Andy Ruiz was in shape, he'd look because a lot of the time when someone has a really chubby face, their facial features look different. When they take that chubbiness off, you're like, oh, you look different. And you do look different. And they're like, okay, there's maybe something going on here. Yeah, a lot of Stephanie. So there's a female there. David Hay can be a little bit of a prat, but he definitely does well when it comes to the females. That's one thing you could say. He even went out with Rosie Webster. Do you remember her? I don't remember what her actual name is, but the actress who played Rosie Webster in Coronation Street. I mean, apparently she was like obsessed with David Hay, like a proper obsession with him. So yeah, David Hay is bro. Chill with the spam. Who's spamming? Oh, we ain't streaming the fight. We are watching the fight. We're not watching it. We're watching it live and reacting to it. I wasn't even paying attention to the spam there. I was like, what's he saying? But yeah, I'm liking this little trailer they're playing for AJ as well. Interviewing guys like I see Ade sat down for the interview and everything. And people, if you haven't already, just gotta ask very quickly again, just to consider hitting that like button if you could. You know, no. That does amaze me because if you think about it, it's not just myself who do live watch-alongs. There's so many others who do them, and it's not even just about like boxing. Like you see F1 live watch-alongs, you see football live watch-alongs. I mean, watch-alongs as a whole have become a big thing, just in media in general. So it does kind of always amaze me when it's like live watch-along, but people are saying, "Why is there no footage?" It's like, yeah, these are a big thing. You know, people do it for the football, they do it for F1, they do it for so much. And big up to Ben every single time. A regular to the chat, Howard. Bloody hell. I don't know where this cough's come from. But a regular to the chat, well done on the BBC. What did you think about it, mate? I'm hoping if you got a chance to listen to it, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think of it. Thank you as well, my friend. Thank you. It was so, do you know what it was, right? It was so frustrating not being able to tell you guys because I could let you know that I've done mainstream stuff, but I couldn't tell you the ins and outs. And the funniest part was when I said it's me, Ade, and a co-host who's a female, and I knew no one was going to guess Emily Eubank. I knew that. I knew no one was going to ever guess Emily Eubank, but I was just wondering, like, and I didn't mean to delete that comment, by the way. I actually, whoever left that comment, I didn't mean to delete it. It was held for review, and I thought I hit accept, and it ended up just being deleted. So apologies on that one. Apologies on that. I didn't mean to delete your comment there, by the way. But yeah, because I knew no one would pick Emily Eubank, so when it was announced and all, I was like, yeah, there you go. Well, as is the case with a lot of mainstream things, it's not as straightforward as many believe. So I was approached to do that it was either January or February, but there was no guarantee it was even going to get commissioned. So it had to go through. I show up and talk boxing. I leave the media and the legality to people who are a lot smarter than I with that kind of stuff. As I said, I just show up and talk, as we all do, as the three of us do. So they had to go through a little bit of this, a little bit of that with BBC. They agreed it. They gave us 5 episodes, and obviously there's an option for more, which we're hoping obviously we get. And then it was the hosts all have to meet up. Obviously, me and Ade, that was an easy one. We met on Zoom. We met for lunch. We met the people who are doing the production, and then we got the go ahead at the end of April, and we filmed I think until the start of June. So we did them over the course of like 5 weeks. And then it was a case of waiting for the BBC to say when they're going out. It was the first time I saw the unedited version, the full version of the show, was when it was released on Ting. I didn't even I'd seen a couple of the outtakes from the edits, but I hadn't seen the actual show. None of us had. So there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work. A hell of a lot of work that goes into it. It's not straightforward. It's not straightforward at all. But again, as I said, I leave that to I leave the legalities and all that stuff to the people who are better with that kind of stuff than certainly I am. I would love to try. I'd love to do F1. There's certain things I've watched it since I was a kid. I've watched it longer than boxing, so I know certain things, and I'd love to do it. It'd be good fun. So who knows? Who knows? You never know. You never know. But Michael Buffer is in the ring a little bit later than we had anticipated, but we are ready to go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Anthony Josh is going to be doing his ring walk. You got the BBC gig. The White P is going to be steaming. Get ready for some speculation. I, I'm not even going to comment on that. I've never actually watched one of his vids, and I don't want to badmouth the guy because I don't. That's not what I do. I have been made aware that he has said things. Again, I don't know what he said. I never watched him. I've seen the thumbnails and been like, I'm not going to do that. Look, he does his thing. I've never met him. I've never had any conversations with him. I'm not going to badmouth someone I don't know. So whatever he thinks of me, he's entitled to his opinion. At the end of the day, you know, I I don't care. I've people have messaged me before and been like, "Look at them." I'm like, I don't care. I'll see what the title says, and I'm just like, all right, fine, whatever. Well, I don't care. So there you go. And thank you to Harkin as well. Well done on the BBC gig. I appreciate that. I really do. Yep. Prenga walking to the ring as we speak. He is indeed. Mr. Versace always looks comical. Mr. Versace. Rick Reno is just, I can't take him serious. Like, I don't know what is he trying, like, I think it's just the fact that he's like a middle-aged guy, clearly well out of shape, and just dressing like that. It just like, I'm just like, no, man. It's just not doing. It's just, you ain't looking cool. You ain't looking hip. You are looking the exact opposite. As I say, he's like the pound shop Joe Stunner. Because he does have quite, you could see in his face, he does look a little bit like Joe Stunner. A little bit. A little bit. Oh my God. It's just, oh my God, that's just so cringe. Honestly, I just can't take him serious. Mr. Midlife Crisis as well, you know. I wear my sunglasses indoors, you know. Yeah, brilliant. I don't wear sunglasses in general, but yeah, you wear them indoors. Yes, yes, brilliant. Yes, 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 yes. Of course, you know, it's amazing. AJ needs some rounds. He might go a couple. He might go a couple, but I expect he's going to win this fight fairly early. Like, I reckon AJ inside 5. AJ inside 5. When's the last? Oh yeah, the last early knockout was Ngannou, and then before that, I reckon this fight might go the same way. He won't thank me for that. I know he won't, but it's kind of true. Like, you can see that there is a similarity there, like in the face. You can say, like, all right, you can see a little bit of Joe Stunner in him. Show. Yes. I don't know why, Ben. It actually had me review that comment. That's weird. You didn't even say anything bad. That's weird. It says AJ Inside 2, and it held that comment for review, which is weird because I that's weird. YouTube could be odd like that. Like, I've seen people say like weird things and it's been like perfect. And you literally said AJ in 2 and it held it for review, which is weird. I don't understand. Sometimes the chats can be weird like that. It's like you've literally said nothing wrong there, and it came up with a message. Do you want to approve this comment? And I was like, yeah, of course, of course. All right, here's the bots. I'm gonna. I think they already been got. Hang on. He gone. He gone. Am I gonna show us the what? Are you gonna show us the game? No, I do not want to get my channel taken down. Oh, AJ walking to the ring. It says he's back. He is back. The Ngannou fight was crazy viewing. That was. And I distinctly remember, I mean, like, they were, you know, the way the zone has that, you know, that fight thing where it's like percentage of the fans who think is going to win. Like, it was razor close in terms of who the fans thought was going to win. The fight wasn't razor close. It was over in 2 rounds. But it really did just show the perception. AJ's looking good. He looks lean. Like, even by his standards, he looks lean. And this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I haven't seen Tyson Fury, so I don't think Fury is there. But this is going to be good, all right. This is going to be a good one. What song is he coming to the ring to? Oh, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. That team behind them. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I like this. That team just looks. That's Team Usyk. That has a something about it. Eddie Hearn there. I kind of thought Usyk might walk with him, but yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. That Fury fight it was diabolical. Diabolical. It was embarrassing for Tyson Fury. It was horrendous. He really was. Do you know when AJ walked to the ring against Daniel Dubois in Wembley Stadium? He did not look himself. He didn't look right. He looked like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. I am saying it now. He looks more on it than he did, certainly in that fight. 86% think AJ will win, to be expected. Eddie always muscles in for AJ. I really want to see if AJ learned from Camp Usyk. Well, we're going to really see it in this. We didn't really see it against Jake Paul. Well, I mean, we're never going to see it there. But Igor, his trainer, man, that I don't know what it was, but just seeing that team with AJ, it really did look good. I was liking what I was seeing. Fast feints potentially very dangerous. I don't think Jada Cormati, probably butchering the last name, but I don't think he's going to be dangerous. There's Alexander Usyk ringside looking in. His protege, will we call him, Anthony Joshua. Joshua doesn't even sweat. Bit of a sweat on the forehead. Bit of a sweat there. I don't think he's going to sweat this fight. No. But yeah. AJ is looking good. No sign of Tyson Fury. I did think that because apparently there was Netflix like cameras there, so I was thinking, oh, could they be going to see Tyson Fury? But evidently not. I think Fury, maybe it's because Usyk is there. Don't underestimate that. Because Usyk wasn't in Tottenham for the Fury fight, for the Makhmadov fight. Don't underestimate. Maybe the fact that Usyk is there, maybe it's something to do. Maybe something to do with that AJ. Maybe if AJ was there and Usyk wasn't, Fury would go. Maybe because you'll have Usyk there. Usyk will be in AJ's. They're playing the Saudi national anthem again. Really, seriously, God's sake. Maybe because Usyk is there, because Usyk, he knows Fury mentally, and Grady Belly, my friend Anthony, he will defeat you. Grady Belly, he will not leave you alone. I'd imagine it'd be something like that. It wouldn't show. Like, I'm not begrudging anyone going for a beer or something like that, but if you're the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights of your career, I wouldn't even be shocked if Fury did do that. I'll take care of that one. There we go. Ed is quick. Because I saw that coming in. I was like, I'll take care of that. My finger was already hovering over on the phone anyway. Do you reckon that Fury will step into the ring? Well, he's not there. I don't think he's there. So, why are they playing the national anthem? It's not even a world title fight. Like, that is the one thing that's a bugbear. Like, why on earth they play the national anthem so it's not a world title fight? I don't even like them anyway for the world. Just get on with it. But yeah, I thank you for it was a good impression, if I do say so myself. But yeah, if Fury was there, he probably would. But I think the fact that Usyk is there, because Usyk would be, if Fury was there and he got in the ring with AJ, Usyk would be there as well. You know that. And I think Usyk being there, I think that would ruffle Fury. And I think, don't underestimate what having Usyk in his team will do for AJ's mentality, but also Fury's. Just knowing that Usyk is there, he might chuck the odd little, Grady belly. Don't worry. He will not leave you alone. And yeah, the greedy belly thing, I'm liking that. It's flipping hilarious. And it's the way Usyk says in his language, when he says it in English, because his English is a bit broken, hello, greedy belly, you are my friend. Sorry, I have a quick question. Has Ade and G-Man show no more? We have our show. We have our BBC show, and then we are coming back to Ade and G-Man, our standard show, very, very soon. Ade is working on things behind the scene. I am not going to tell you what they are. That's for him to talk about. Can I just be right? I saw someone, and this is just a bit of a bugbear, right? It just shows the way people can be, right? Someone said that like me and Ade, we had beef and this, that, and the other. It's like we nothing of the sort. Like we literally just did our pod, and that's one of the reasons why we put the pod Ade and G-Man just on timeout for a little bit, because we were getting the BBC one over the line. And we are Ade G-Man, standard Ade G-Man, back very soon. I'll let Ade tell you all about the ins and outs. I think you're gonna like, because I'm not gonna You're gonna like it. You're gonna like. He actually sent. I'm not even gonna go because I might give it away, but you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. So yeah, we're all good. So hopefully you're gonna get the best of both. You're gonna get Ade and G-Man, and then you're gonna get Ade, G-Man, and Emily. Well, actually, it's Ade, Liam, and Emily because I insisted. That was one thing I said. I insisted. I was like, when we're doing the BBC pod, please everyone call me Liam because I'm gonna introduce myself as Liam. Everyone call me Liam, and they did. Let's wait for. Let's have the intro. Let's go.
And it's all brought to us by Riyadh Season, Curtis Season, and Stella, in association with Eddie Hearn, Boxing, and Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotion.
Let's go.
Live worldwide on the Dome. Special thanks, ladies and gentlemen, as always, to the Kingdom of
No.
Saudi
No,
Arabia.
I see what Happy Wanderer says there. I doubt it. Usyk is not that type of person. And I think that I think Alexander Usyk respects Anthony Joshua for the fact that he apologized. And Usyk he doesn't strike me as a spiteful individual. So no, I'd be very surprised if they did that. I would more believe it if it was Ben Davison. Because Ben Davison, God knows what he would have said to Anthony Joshua with Tyson Fury, being the opponent. Buffer did the world. I did see that. That World Cup final was diabolical. It was an awful game. And that halftime show was just... that just did not need to happen. That was diabolical. Louis Pabon refereed the second Usyk fight. A little bit of trivia there. He also refereed Povetkin versus Klitschko, which was diabolical.
And they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance
And the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble.
I love Michael Buffer. He'll always be the GOAT, but I would like to see some of the other MCs get more of gigs. I would. I like Michael Buffer. He'll always be one of the go-tos, one of the GOATs, but I don't know. I don't know.
20 victories, and all of his victories are by knockout.
This one won't be.
From Mirdita, Albania, the former WBA and ABA heavyweight champion.
That's an achievement right there, isn't it? The WBA and ABA champion. Do I like Fury's boxing style? It's effective, but it's not exactly pleasing on the eye. But it is effective. I prefer Usyk's style. I prefer a Telma style. Smash the like. Yes, before we go, because we're going to be commentating on this, so I won't be watching much of I won't be reacting much to the chat while this fight's going. I'll pretty much only be reacting if you give me... I'm not asking for one, by the way, but I'll only react if I get a super chat or something. I'll be focusing on this fight. So the last time I ask, just until we finish, if you could hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate that as well. Anthony. His hometown's listed as London. AJ's from Watford. Watford's not in London. Just so you know. Usyk sat there ringside. Let's go, people. It's going to be good.
Here, walk is good. Guys, I give you instruction in the fencing room. They're having a team match, okay? We love, God bless you.
The comeback, the continuation, AJ.
Anytime, Stephen. No worries, mate. Let's go. It's going to be good, man. I'm buzzing. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't seen pretty much all of AJ's fights since he's been a pro. Yes, it was in Jeddah. Here we go, people. Let's see what AJ is like. Straight off the bat, AJ popping the jab out. AJ letting that jab go actually quite early. And he's got a bit of authority on that jab. And actually, popping it out. Kristian Prenga not letting the shots go. Good little jab to the body from Anthony Joshua as well. Although Prenga, there's a... Oh, hell no. AJ's down in the first 30 seconds. He doesn't look badly hurt. Oh my days. An uppercut lands. He looked more off balance, and there's a left hook, a lead left hook by Anthony Joshua. Kristian Prenga, I think he knows AJ is not particularly hurt, but god damn, that is not what we want to be seeing. And he's using the uppercut again. The uppercut again. The uppercut that Daniel Dubois was landing. That is unbelievable. The first 30 seconds of this fight, Anthony Joshua is down, and we go from thinking AJ was going to be unbeatable in this fight to thinking, oh God, could we be on for a shock? They showed a camera to Alexander Usyk, who was locked into this fight. AJ buzzed again. He took a little jab there. It looks like he got buzzed again. Oh boy. Oh, we did not. Oh my God. Oh my God. Kristian Prenga's hurt him again. He's hurt him again. He landed a right hand on Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua all over the place here in the first round. Is he going to get taken out in a round? Unbelievable. Oh my days. Are we seeing the Fury fight go out the window? We've got 90 seconds left in the first round. Anthony Joshua is in there with a guy with a 100% knockout ratio win rate. And he's been down and he's been hurt by a right hand. Is this matchmaking gone disastrously wrong? Oh my days. Oh my good Lord. Another right hand goes in. That's not a knockdown. He shoves Anthony Joshua to the ground. But this is disastrous for Anthony Joshua, whose legs don't even appear to be underneath him. Oh my goodness. Good jab by AJ. He caught Prenga coming in with the jab, but Anthony Joshua looks like a fish out of water in this first round. Oh my days, what's happening? What's going on? Another shot goes in by Prenga. He clearly has power, but good Lord. What is happening to Anthony Joshua in here? He's hurt again, and he's down again. He's down again. Another count. 2 knockdowns in the first round for Anthony Joshua. There's 30 seconds left to go. There's still 30 seconds left to go in this round. Oh my days. The bell can't come soon enough for Anthony Joshua, who still doesn't look steady on his legs. Here's another shot that goes in by Prenga. Uppercut by Kristian Prenga. Anthony Joshua needs to hold. He needs to grab on. He needs to do whatever he can to get out of this first round and regroup and see what he can do. Oh, what on earth has happened to AJ in this fight? What on earth is going on? Oh my days. And Prenga, right hand goes in from Prenga. AJ looks to exchange my days. I need a... Oh boy. Oh boy, that was not what we were expecting, was it? Let's have a look at this first knockdown. AJ ducks down. It didn't even look a good shot. Oh no. It literally barely grazed him, that shot. And he goes down. He's been down in the first round before. Oh dear, look at it. It didn't even look a particularly good uppercut. And he went down and boom, a right hand and a grazing right hand. These shots are not landing clean. It's not like they're landing flush. Like when Dubois landed on AJ, he landed flush. These aren't even flush shots, and AJ is hurt and he's all over the... Oh dear. Oh good Lord. Oh my days. Round number 2 is underway. Are we seeing a seismic upset in the heavyweight? Are we seeing the Fury AJ fight fall by the wayside? Are we seeing the last dance of Anthony Joshua and he's hurt again? Or certainly he looked to be a little bit hurt, but he was maybe just off balance there, but he looks nervous as hell. Oh my days. And Prenga, you can see how limited he is. He's not a particularly good fighter, Kristian Prenga. But good Lord, AJ needs to... If AJ really needs to go for broke here, because he's 2 knockdowns down, I can't believe what we're seeing here, people. I really can't. Derek Chisora lost to Deontay Wilder back in April. And I would still pick that version of Chisora over this Kristian Prenga. Oh my days. AJ really needs to regroup. There's a right hand that goes in from Anthony Joshua, who does still have punching power. And he lands a little right hand there on Kristian Prenga. He needs to put more weight on some of these shots. He really does. There's a right hand that goes in. He does appear to he pushes Kristian Prenga back. There we go. Anthony Joshua with the right hand on Kristian Prenga. His team are up on the apron saying, let it go, let it go. There's the right hand that goes in again. There we go. Another right hand goes in from Anthony Joshua. That landed clean on Kristian Prenga. Left hook. Kristian Prenga's backed up to the ropes. Kristian Prenga having a great first round. He may need to be looking for the bell himself in this second round, because Anthony Joshua is getting more shots on. Oh my days, that first round was stressful. Whew. I need to lie down after that. But every time it gets into an exchange, he looks dangerous. Now, Kristian Prenga, he might have a decent punch, but if this is happening against Prenga, what's going to happen if you go in there with Tyson Fury and a right hand goes in from Anthony Joshua? Kristian Prenga misses with his own right hand. AJ is able to land it. A minute and 15 to go in the second round. AJ getting a bit back more into it in this fight, in this round anyway, letting some shots go. He's hurt Kristian Prenga at least once in this round. He hasn't touched down. He hasn't been hit with a big shot, but they didn't look particularly big shots in the first round, and he was all over the place. A minute left. A round AJ is winning. But he needs to be careful whenever there's an exchange. He looks unbelievably vulnerable. He seems to have recovered from those 2 knockdowns, but still, the fact that we're even mentioning AJ being knocked down in this fight, he was knocked down within 30 seconds with a nothing uppercut. This is a worry. This is a worry, people. This is a worry, people. 30 seconds to go. A mega fight with Tyson Fury hanging in the balance. And there's a right hand from Anthony Joshua. There's another right hand. There it goes. That's it. It's over. AJ has knocked out. Don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. The referee has to finish his count yet. But AJ is going to knock out Kristian Prenga. Oh my God. Crisis averted. I think I've aged about 10 years in the last 2 rounds. Oh, crisis averted. Oh my days. Alexander Usyk with a big, whew, he's relieved. Oh my days. That was stressful. That made up for Hamza Sheeraz, didn't it? I knocked the microphone to one side. That was stressful as hell. Holy mother of Jesus. That was oh my God. We can laugh about it now, but boy, was that boy, was that stressful. Holy mother of God. We can laugh about it. The body reaction, that was no dive there. Holy shit. I wish I had some beer now because I need a drink after that. I don't have any beer. I didn't buy any. Oh, my days. Oh, man. Oh, break that down. That was crazy. That was actually crazy. Oh boy, let's have a look. I'm dying to see replays of this fight. Oh my days. That was yeah. That was something else, all right. People, I hope you enjoyed. I deserve a like and subscribe just for that commentary. We all lived those last 2 rounds. We lived them as one on here. Holy mother of God. Yeah, you can like the vid and hit subscribe just off of that. That was something else, all right. That was crazy. That was legit crazy. Oh my days. That was not fixed. That did not look fixed in the slightest. I mean, there's certain reactions the body makes that you just can't, like you can't, when legs go like that, when people go limp like that, there's just no faking that. And AJ's always stuck his tongue out, so there's nothing new there. But Alexander, he looks relieved. He doesn't look happy. He looks relieved. Alexander Usyk, more so than anything else. AJ Fury. All right, let's have a look at this. Right, big right hand goes in, legs do a dance. AJ spots it. Another right hand goes in. Uppercut goes in. Left. That left. Right there. Right. Anyone saying that's fixed? What are you smoking? Look at that. Like, how can you, I'm sorry, how do you fix a reaction like that? You're hit with a flush left hook and your body goes limp and you fall to the canvas. Like, explain to me, because look, boom, look at it. How do you, like, how is that, how can anyone look at that and say that's fake? Why did Prenga stop punching? But why would you allow yourself to be knocked out like that? Like, look at it. He stopped punching probably because he was trying to keep defense, and loads of fighters stop punching. And then he's hit with a left hook like that, and he nearly flies out of the ropes. Like, I'm sorry, like, how anyone can look at that and like look at the reaction. Like, he didn't even break his fall. Like, how anyone can look at that. You need your head examined if you're going to look at that and say that was fake. Yeah, he never threw a punch, but he didn't throw a punch because AJ was letting the shots go from early. AJ heard him early in the round. Fighters, they go into the shell. Some fighters, when they feel like, okay, he's not hurt anymore and he's hurting me, they'll go into a defensive shell. And again, when people say, but he stopped punching, but you're not going to allow yourself, right? There's one thing, do fights get fixed sometimes? Yeah, they absolutely do. But you're not going to allow yourself to get hit with a shot like that. I mean, at the end of the day, right? You're not going to do it. You can't give Fury criticism after this. I can critique Fury for his performance, and I will be critiquing Anthony Joshua for this performance as well. But there's just no way that fight was fixed. There's no way. Like, no way in hell. And again, do fights get fixed in boxing? Yes, but like, you cannot fake and fix reactions like that. Why are you, as a fighter, why would you allow yourself to be hit with a shot like that? That's going to concuss you. Your body's going to go limp. You're not even going to break your fall. It's just like, no, that's just no way. It's just, and even with AJ in the first round, it's like, you were hurt. Okay, you were hurt. You came back from it. You had the minute's rest. So I am not accepting that fight was fixed. It was not. And we've seen plenty of times with fighters, they get dropped, they come back and they win. It happens. Alexander Usyk, a relieved man at ringside. AJ's chin is terrible. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. But yeah, AJ is going to get critiqued big time by myself in this. He really is. Oh boy, I really don't know. I really don't know. Still fighting aggressively after such a good start. People are saying it stinks. Me personally, a Helmut would smash AJ to bits. Yeah, he would. Do you think AJ's chin is gone? Yeah, look, I wasn't hit with those shots. I don't know how good they were, but for me, yeah, AJ's chin looks worse than ever. Yeah, AJ knows how bad Prenga is. So, yeah, man. I think that there's a lot of damage done for AJ in this fight. Like, Fury didn't look good last night. He really didn't. But AJ, oh boy, he really didn't look good in here. I mean, offensively, fair enough. Did what he needed to do. Got the knockout, highlight reel knockout. Happy days. But that first round, that's a damaging first round. That really was. It's just the fact that he looked so. It looked like every single time he got touched with something, hurt. Yeah, that was a stressful as hell first round. Came back, knocked him out in the second, as he really should have knocked. He really should have been doing that earlier, but that is what that is. Having both guys fought within 24 hours of one another, they both didn't look good, but Tyson Fury didn't come close. Well, he felt it. He got hit with a shot, and he kind of maybe was a little bit stunned, but he never came close to going down. AJ's confidence after that, I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now what happens. He always did that. I mean, remember when he knocked out, remember AJ when he knocked out Robert Helenius and he did that big hard celebration? Remember that? So he's done that before. There's nothing new with Anthony Joshua. He's done that before. But yeah. And as Ben says, AJ can still punch. He certainly can. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Saudi whispers, you're not supposed to win this fight. Again, right? Like, do I doubt for a minute that there are fixes in boxing? No, I don't doubt that for 1 second. But why would you, like, this is what I cannot understand. Why would you allow yourself to be knocked out like that? That's what I don't, like, that's where I'm like, no, I won't, I can't look at something like that and say that's a fix because, he was knocked out, went limp with a big left hook, and people say, well, he stopped punching. Well, yeah, he was hurt at the start of the round, so maybe he's trying to get his bearings, and maybe he's not looking to exchange, hoping that, AJ doesn't carry on and stuff like that. You can't look at a knockout like that where he's hit with a big left hook. He's literally, his chin went like that, goes limp. When he falls out, he doesn't have the wherewithal to break his fall. And you see guys when they go down and maybe damn well they go down, they could get back up, big up to Ade in the ring. They could get back up, or they go down, they have the harm out to break their fall and stuff like that. I'll go, G-man, but thank you for entertaining the evening. I'll be going soon as well, man, to be fair. Like, I'm not sticking around much longer. I have my post-fight review to record, which I hope you'll enjoy. And as Stephanie says, there was no fight. Like, his arms went stiff immediately. Like, I mean, like, again, there were reactions you look for. AJ with his little boy there. That's cute. But there were reactions, right? When the body goes limp like that. Like, I'll give you an example, right? There's the WWE wrestler Jack Swagger. Now, he recently did power slaps, right? Which I think is kind of silly because they basically each get a free hit, right? And he got knocked out badly in that power slaps. And you can't fake those reactions. And it was kind of similar to that. His one was worse, though, because he went proper limp. But you go limp and you fall and you're out. You are not able to break your fall. And they have people who, you know, they stand behind them in case, so they hold them so they don't hurt themselves. Don't say they're already hurt, but you know what I mean. But there are reactions like that you just can't fake. So when people are saying in the chat like that, it was fake, it was fake. I was like, I can't. What? How? Like, that just mind boggles when you see something like that. You're like, how is that fake? Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. I will talk about it more in my post-fight review. Let me say for now, thank you all for locking in, and I will chat to you all in my post-fight review, which will be coming up in a little bit. Until then, thank you all for locking in. Appreciate anyone who donated. There was a few donations via Super Chat. Thank you so much for all that. And yes, Power Slap is literally CTE factory. I mean, it is. I mean, those guys. Only reason I saw it is because it literally came up my Instagram feed, and I was like, oh my God, these people are just, they're, you know, you're just asking for trouble with that. But anyway, I will leave it there. All right. I will leave it there. Have a great one, people. Speak to you soon.